self-conscious about my dancing now that Barry Grant called me out.
No, that's why he called you up, because you're too self-conscious. You have to let yourself lose yourself in the moment. The bomb is to come together.
We back.
We back.
We back.
Thank God that bye week is over.
No, you're telling me. That Sunday to Monday felt like a million years.
Okay, well, let's talk about the bye week just real quick here. Obviously, the Cowboys weren't playing, so we did our first ever live stream on a bye week without the Cowboys playing. It honestly, since we've went from like just watching one game a week, like we just basically watched the Cowboys, we live streamed the Cowboys, going to Red Zone and watching a bunch of multiple games almost felt a little overwhelming.
I don't know exactly what he said.
Oh, absolutely.
Like to try to talk about what was going on and try to like not just sit there and stare at the screen, actually try to somewhat be like there for entertainment purposes. It was kind of it was a little bit too much, and Ad Best left us. Yeah, and then AJ, how'd the end of the day end up going?
Most of it was in and out of consciousness, but this time it was just due to putting in the hours. You know, but my problem was I stayed out late the night prior.
Right.
I didn't get wrecked, but I just stayed up late, and then it fucking hit a wall at whatever time it was, 4 p.m.
About hour 4.
Yeah.
No, it was like 2. It was like 2 p.m. I don't think we even made it to 4 p.m. Because I even we did Ad went to Post Malone. You and I held down the fort. We drank all day. I didn't eat. The first thing I ate was the pizza that we ordered and missed. When the delivery guy came, we missed the delivery guy being here. So we didn't eat till probably about, I'd say 3 p.m. And we got here at 9:30.
Yeah.
Anyways, the bye week was a blast. I had a good time. It sucks not having Cowboys football on. I don't realize how much I miss it until it is the actual bye week. I don't know, how did you guys feel about the bye week?
I mean, it was interesting because literally the only way that I'm following other teams this year is through fantasy football. So I'm making all my decisions for fantasy in the fantasy world based off of like stats and their prior games. So it was.
Well, yeah, I have to pick up my Viagra, but this time I'm going to ask for branded Viagra. Last time they gave me the generic, but the branded Viagra is, virtually the same price.
I'm enjoying football this way a lot more.
Oh, for sure.
Viagra.
What I noticed with us doing the podcast now and doing the live streams. Hey, anyone listening, by the way, we do live stream Cowboys football games. You can come have a watch along with us on the YouTube, which is Cowboys Can Fan Podcast on the YouTube app or the browser if you're a weirdo.
You just search Cowboys Can Fan. We'll pop up.
But I noticed that it's made me a bigger Cowboys fan because it's literally really the only game I pay attention to, really.
And because we talk, hey, it's Adam, by the way. I was getting our TikTok live going on. I was a little bit muted.
ASL?
Crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him, son.
Get that crack going.
I was so nervous about not being able to run the fucking Death Star over there of Adam's control units. So I was like kind of on edge, but it was a good time. We're back. But
nobody could drive this car but me, old man.
Hey, I do my best. I did my best. How was Post Malone ad before we jump into Cowboy stuff?
Yeah, it was Posty was great.
Which is kind of Cowboy stuff anyways.
It's very Cowboys. There was so Lynn's wore the Prescott jersey.
Yep.
I wore the Cowboys hat. I didn't want to go Cowboys hat plus Cowboys jersey for some reason, but we both were rocking the star.
It's
subtle. But there were other people in the crowd. We could see who else was wearing Cowboys jerseys, and then your buddy.
Yep. He got his jersey signed. He threw his he was close enough that he threw his Dak Prescott jersey on stage, and Posty signed it.
And he was holding it up for a while.
That's pretty
dope.
dope.
We're like, oh look, he's holding the Prescott jersey up.
Yeah, no, that was pretty sweet.
Last time you went to a show, you actually got footage of LeBron James dancing, never posted it, and then there was literally another viral video that came out.
This is bringing me back to like a little Adam TMZ.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, a forgotten segment.
Did you have that feeling tonight? Like I got to capture something?
No.
I mean, I don't know if there was that moment. But
we were in the nosebleed sections, which originally I was like nosebleed sections.
It's GM or Rodgers.
Still great seats. We sat down for a lot of it, which was nice because we're getting old. The opening act wasn't there, so we were sitting in there for 2 hours with
nothing.
With nothing.
Did you get lit up?
Like what, yelled at by people? Or?
Now, did you just have a couple fucking $18 beers?
Yeah, I had 2 $18 beers, and then that was about it.
They have more alcohol in them because they're more expensive. You know, the one thing, funny enough, speaking of nosebleeds, is we have not seen, I don't know, any fan fights, or it's just not showing up in my...
I've looked, but prior to the Eagles game, there was one of those fucking just terrible Thursday nighters. I think it was Denver versus Indy. It was just such a bad game that I sat there just watching fan fights. But you're right, I didn't see any, like, none of the ones that I hadn't seen prior. We were playing the Eagles that week, so I was mostly just going through fan shit, like Eagles fan stuff, and just getting so mad at them as a fan base that I didn't really go out of it to try to find any other NFL fan fights. Last year, it seemed like there was a good NFL fight every week.
And that was getting us our most clicks and views from our clips that we were doing. It still is. We actually, one of our videos got flagged for being a mature audience or something like that because of one of the fan fights.
Wasn't Alex showing his ding dong?
No, those ones never. Oh, hang on a second. We got Nate Dogg's in the house.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
Nate Dogg's in his A. What's up, Nate? What's up, Nate? What's up, Nate? All right, so what do we got going on here, boys?
Well, first thing that we can basically talk about is actually it kind of links to last week.
Yep.
And there is a big topic which I don't want to spoil. The initials are OBJ.
OBJ.
First of all, I think we need to give credit where credit's due. You posted this wonderful video of Micah Parsons, teammate of Damon Clark of the Dallas Cowboys.
Damone. I know, it fucks me.
Hey, look, it's Damon to me, and I apologize every time I say it. It's locked in.
I like it.
But I'll just call him Mr. Clark. Superman Clark here,
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of praise from Micah and saying how much he respects his game. And so on that news, Damone Clark has jumped ahead of Jabril Cox.
Yeah.
God, I was choking on it there. On the depth chart, he jumped ahead. He didn't jump on him. He jumped ahead of him in the depth chart.
Yeah, so I know you guys probably remember me going off a little bit in the preseason about how I was so excited to see this linebacking crew because we had Micah, who's established himself even in his rookie year as being one of the best defensive players in the NFL. I was excited to see LVE get back to his roots of his rookie year. He was coming off a strong playoff matchup against the Niners. And then I was excited to see Jabril Cox, who tore his knee last year midway through the season, but was starting to get some playing time prior to that. So when the Cowboys went and drafted Damone Clark in the 5th round, coming off his spinal fusion surgery, a lot of people didn't even expect to see the guy play this year. Like it was pretty much kind of like a Jalen Smith type thing where if he didn't play this year and, we started working him into the lineup next year, that would have been a bonus, right? He's a 5th round pick. You're not really taking much of a flyer on him. The dude's already back in the lineup before our bye week this year, and he's already surpassed Jabril Cox, who was a 4th round pick the year before him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a storyline that's getting a little bit surpassed. Not a lot of people are talking about it. Man, we're talking about a guy that had spinal fusion surgery less than a year ago.
No, but if he didn't have that injury, wasn't he projected to be a top 3 pick, or where was he?
I don't know if that high, but probably within the 1st round.
Depending on how the draft goes.
It's hard to tell, but he...
Oh, sorry, not top 3 pick. I meant top 3 rounds.
Rounds. Oh,
1st round pick.
Fucking top 3 rounds, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Without a doubt. So the Cowboys taking a flyer on Damone Clark in the 5th round, it was kind of like the Jalen Smith, but Jalen Smith, we gave a 2nd round for him, right?
Yeah.
Nice drop. So it's cool to see Micah talking about him because, like Micah said in the video, he feels like Damone's a younger brother. Damone reached out to him as soon as he got drafted and was kind of bummed out that he probably wasn't going to be playing this year.
Yeah.
And Micah just said, hey, man, just stick to what you're doing, work hard, have patience, and it'll eventually come. And the guy played in week 8.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Which is sweet.
It's insane.
So this is an interesting thing, and actually probably the better... I'm going to get a little controversial, but this is what I thought about when I saw the Michael Parsons video, how much he just Not even that one. All of the videos. He is just a wholesome football player. He loves the sport. He loves his teammates. I see that, and times change and people can get sour. I just don't see that with Micah Parsons. I think the more appropriate person to speak with about this, because he's been vocal himself, is Barry Grant Jr. But dealing with the issues in society where there's a lot of, the most recent one was and I don't listen to Migos, but it was a terrible story. The young man got shot, killed, Takeoff, I believe.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now we have two different. I don't know enough about Migos, but just generally there is a more even myself, and I live in Chilliwack, BC, country bumpkin, but there's a more of this connection with like an NWA at the time, let's say, than I don't know, a Micah Parsons. So my question is, like, I wonder how you can get more people to be looking at Micah Parsons and his drive and love for a career coming from his where he grew up from.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Harrisburg, baby.
And,
where the bullies get bullied, so Micah says.
I don't know enough about either's like real history. I just know Micah from football. I love what he's doing. So I don't know if that connection is the right one. But there are people out there who are like living a lifestyle and are just as successful, but are not in, say, I don't want to say a gang, because I think music is music and it's entertainment, but it feels like there's almost two different paths in that way, like one is this guy who's leading success on the football field, and in his second year is arguably, some people put him at the top of the defensive list, the best in his craft. And on the other side, you have a music career. I'm not going to say anyone specifically, but who are maybe projecting a bit of a more lifestyle that I would like to see, but I'm not really like, I like to kind of listen to, and like it sounds cool and fun, but it can end up on the wrong side of things. So long story short, it's a question that I probably shouldn't be asking you guys.
You weren't lying when you said you were going controversial. I was just kind of listening, see where you're going with it. What I will say about Micah, and it's kind of not, it doesn't really answer what you're talking about, but what I did notice with Micah in that interview with Damone Clark, compared to his interviews in year one, is how much more mature he seemed.
I guess my thing, to sum it up, to be less complicated and to just speak my mind, is I wonder what it will take, or why a Micah Parsons isn't more of a
role model,
a role model figure, and why some entertainment careers are more exciting, I guess, or both can bring both of those. Now, obviously, one's an athletic skill, but one's also a skill, a talent, a musical talent or entertainment talent. So both of them can provide you, whatever you want in life if you're good at it. So, yeah, long story short.
Ben Caller in the chat goes, oof, that was deep.
Hey, man, let's move on to fucking football, okay? I'm sorry. But you know what?
Hey, this is our medium. AJ had something he wanted to get off his shoulders, and he got it off his shoulders.
And
how about OBJ?
I said it. I said it so you can remind me next time Barry Grant Jr. is on, or maybe I'm on his cast. I'll ask him, but then you can force me to run through that again and ask Barry what his thoughts are. Yeah,
I would love that. Maybe we can get Barry on Sunday. Pre-game.
That'd be awesome.
Just before you move on to the chat, I wanted just to shout out Boots on the Grounds in Disneyland with his family, and he still needed to pop in, smash that like button.
Hell yeah!
He smuggled in some rum, so he's drinking rum.
I need to know, if you're listening, Boots, if you're still around, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland or California Adventure? Crack him if you got him, son.
But you know what? He can't listen with sound on, so it's not the most wholesome show.
Makes sense. Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Okay, so APK Cookie comes in and says, "I hope they sign OBJ." Are we gonna get into the OBJ?
Yeah,
talk right now?
I mean, we talked about Damone Clark, Micah, which the last thing I'll say about that is I might have another front runner to the jersey I might get. Right. Damone Clark has 2 games. He has against Green Bay and then against Mini.
Well, I'm cleaning up your sloppy seconds because whatever one you don't get, Tyler
you're gonna
Smith
get. So you
Clark, I'm gonna get.
So we're gonna don either. We're both gonna be rocking Damone Clark, Tyler Smith. They're both rookies.
Long term.
Hard to not like. It would be nice to see some Damone Clark action. I'd like to see him. He had a good game. His first game. He's only going to improve.
Yeah. Boot says, "Man, how much time you got? Love everything about Disneyland, but Jungle Cruise is up there."
Jungle Cruise is just a chill one.
Hey, when you and Boot should after this, we'll have a little quick
get on Ad's new app.
Get on Ad's new app. That's a little behind baseball.
Behind baseball there.
But I'll ask you guys this because this has been the hottest topic. You Google Dallas Cowboys and every single article. Well, I'm not going to say every single article. The 4 that come up that I see are all about Odell Beckham Jr. Every single one. It's the hottest topic right now. And not even just Cowboys news. It's kind of like the Odell Beckham sweepstakes a little bit.
For whatever reason, it scares me that this became a hot topic when it did, a bye week.
Yeah.
It feels like a news pusher. However, the thing that builds confidence that this has more potential than those trade deadline acquisitions that were talked about is that the trade deadline's passed now. So if you do want to upgrade, there is literally one number one target out there. I would think maybe in all of the free agents, and especially at the wide receiver position.
Oh yeah, if the only reason that OBJ hasn't been scooped up yet is because he's still coming back from that knee injury that Nate Fredrickson caused in Super Bowl 58. We'll say, I don't know if it was actually 58. I'm just guessing.
In Super Bowl
XLLV1 VV26.
You remember the letters, but not the number.
But the reason he's still around is because he's coming back from that knee injury. He's pretty much told teams when he's going to be ready to come back, and now it's kind of ramping up, and you can feel it. You can feel it is like, I mean, every team right now should be trying to find that last piece if it's financially sound for them, right? Why would you not go and try to sign OBJ to get that last Super Bowl push? But my one concern with signing OBJ is how much do you guys think he's going to cost? Like, what do you think? 10, 15, 10? What was his? Okay, actually, this is a question for you, AJ, to check out. What was his contract with the Rams? I think it was in Bitcoin, but what was it when he signed it?
1 Ethereum.
Well, now it's $20. But.
Yeah, it was worth a lot. But what was his contract when he signed with the LA Rams? And it was just a 1-year deal, I believe. Yeah, he got traded. Okay, sorry, he got traded from Cleveland to LA. I think he was on the last year of his deal. Yeah. So it would be what it was with the Bears. So here, okay, 1-year contract, $1.25 million. Like, if we could get him for that, without a doubt.
I mean, there's no way he is gonna to win the sweepstakes. I would double that and be fine.
So and I was wrong. He actually the Cleveland Browns, I'm pretty sure, cut him.
Nate Dogg says, even if he signs to the Cowboys, he'll get a jersey. I owe him.
Wow. Yeah, Nate did say that. He got cut by the Browns.
So he signed that 2018 contract that was to be up in 2023. So he still had money from that, and then he signed. Then that was with the trade. That was passed on with the trade. Then he was cut, and so then he signed that 1-year deal with LA.
So he got paid $1.25 million, and he only played, I think it was 7 games for them.
Yeah, but guess what? That contract of 2023, whatever is guaranteed, is still played out to him.
Still getting paid.
So
he's still getting paid by.
That's why he's probably not. Load? That's probably why. I mean, there is a concerning one of his comments when Micah tweeted him, and then he responded. It's like you can tell there's a couple of players in the mix right now, or a couple teams in the mix on where he's going to go.
Bills.
Bills would
Bills
be
Mafia. That'd be deadly.
Let me ask you.
Well, that's a question. Sorry, Alex. No, that's a question that AP Cookie wants to know. If Cowboys don't sign OBJ, I wonder where he'll go.
Lots of teams.
So
lots of teams vying for him.
Think about if I'm OBJ now. I'm going to say something wild too. I'd pay.
Here we go.
I would pay.
Wild or controversial?
This one's wild.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it might be controversial to some of you. So plug your ears like boots in the ground if you can't handle what I'm about to say.
Baby, that's what we do.
I would pay. How much cap do we have? 16?
23 mil, I think.
I'd pay $10 million to have him on the team.
Like a 1 year.
If I think he's going to make the difference that we need. We are, and this could change week to week, but at this moment, we are one solid 1B wide receiver away from having an outstanding team.
I'd almost say unstoppable.
Honestly. Add on Damone Clark showing up and playing football like he is. That just put a huge Band-Aid, not even Band-Aid. That just filled a huge hole on the Cowboys defense, which is not a problem.
No.
So right there in 2 weeks, this team, if, 3 weeks, let's say, if OBJ's back in the next 2 weeks playing in the NFL, that's fucking 2 huge upgrades on either side of the ball that I think would really push this team into like
the stratosphere, baby.
I mean, I already think from when we look at the other top teams' records, and there was a nice breakdown online that Steve shared with us in our little secret chat that we have.
Our little goosey secret chat.
We're still using Instagram.
Secret garden chat.
Our secret garden chat. But he posted which team's record between Philadelphia and Vikings is more.
Who's real, who's
paper
not.
tiger. And when you go through their list, now you could probably do this with every team. You could probably do it with the Cowboys, except for we were running with the fucking backup for 4 of those.
Fuck yeah, we were.
But you can see that you can make an argument that each team really isn't that fucking scary.
True. You literally could. You literally could go through every team and say, well, they beat him because they beat these guys because of why? Because they beat them because of who, right? But, I mean... That meme, I think it was NFL Memes posted it. It did, like, you go through the Eagles game list and you're like, well, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. At least the Vikings, at least they beat the Dolphins, who right now are a very powerful team, but the Dolphins had, I think, a third stringer in at the time. So there's like this asterisk beside every win. And like you said, I'm sure you could do that with most teams.
But it was just interesting to see then if those 2 upgrades happen to Damone Clark is, I believe, who he thinks he is, or who we think he is. And so if OBJ gets added to the offense, that's just such a big addition. It makes us certainly
better than Ant's throw.
I'm fucking terrible at trying to get the can into it's a giant recycling bin, and I missed.
That's why you're an assist man.
Yeah.
But it makes us, whoever people consider their number 1, it puts Cowboys into that number 2 position in in mind 100%.
So I'm going to ask you guys, do we get OBJ?
Well, sorry.
No, I don't care about chat. I'm asking you.
I'm just going to...
Yes or no?
I'm going to reference what Kahuna said in chat, because this is how I believe it. As much as I want... this is how stupid... He's stupidly...
That's me saying AJ, I need one for my cozy.
Kilo C says yes.
Nice toss.
Kahuna says OBJ is coming late off of an injury, so he'll go to anyone who offers. I don't hate signing for the right price, but there might be someone in the draft to go for. Now,
fair.
I don't agree with him, but I think that's what's going to happen with the front office. I think that's how the front office is thinking. They're going to think, well, we're going to get a lot of great press right now with the OBJ signing.
Well, that's kind of like, so you're thinking they're going to use that?
I think they're just going to use it, and then they're just looking to sign somebody, which to me is stupid. Look at what happened with Tolbert right now. I mean, I don't want a rookie wide receiver right now.
May or may not.
Tolbert's not going on the field.
Yeah,
well, I just don't want it. I mean, I would rather you need to have people, like, you need to have a veteran in there to help.
A hired gun.
You need to have a hired gun, and you need to have more veterans on there to allow these rookies who are coming in a little bit more comfortability when they get on the field.
So yes?
I want him. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Okay, AJ?
Which is unfortunate.
So we got one no.
I think they do.
Okay.
I think they make an actual serious push for it. And
I think the jersey if they do.
We know you are. I can't wait.
And guess what? I don't think I will change my even if they
You're not gonna buy a jersey?
even if they don't do it, I think next time this type of scenario pops up again, I'm gonna be just as hopeful.
Okay, so we got yes from AJ, no from Ad. I'm gonna be the tiebreaker with I don't think it's gonna happen, just because I've seen it happen too many times where the Cowboys are the biggest team linked to a big name. And then somebody else comes in and ends up signing the guy, and then you hear, oh yeah, well at the 19th or the 11th hour, whatever happened, and we ended up missing this guy. I'll be more than happy that if I'm proved wrong.
Sure.
I hope we get OBJ. I've been very vocal about thinking, like Alex had said not too long ago, 5 minutes ago, that we're one very good 1B wide receiver, true wide receiver, like outside wide receiver away from this offense being truly scary. I have reservations about it because I know OBJ is going to want. He's come out and said that he's going to want a multi-year deal, which I'm fine with.
Give it to him. I'd rather
but
get my jersey price a little bit better.
Yeah, you get more bang for your buck with your jersey ad. But he has had injury concerns. And there's also that thing with OBJ that right now everyone's forgetting. He has had some off-the-field shit too. Dallas isn't always the greatest place to go to if you have some sideline issues or off-the-field shit. You're going to be looked at with a magnifying glass. It worked for a couple years with T.O., then he kind of went off the rails. Des Bryant, people always overreacted to shit he did when I don't think Des was ever, for most of the time, that shit that he got.
The biggest Cowboy fan out there right now. Like, how could you ever cut a guy like that?
Well, but not even cutting him. It was just like he would have burst out on the sideline, and not because he's being a dick, because he's so fucking competitive. But we're near in a big market, kind of like when OBJ was in New York. Everything gets spun to a negative narrative. So if we do get him, I just hope he's here to just fucking ball out. And I
absolutely,
like I said, I don't think we're gonna get him. I really hope we do.
Well, this is what I want to say to Steven and Jerry.
Don't just stare at me. Go.
Get OBJ.
This is what I want to say to him. Crack him if you got him, son.
So, Kahuna, I hate to go back because I've just been thinking about this, what you said, and I've ignored the last 5 minutes. No, just kidding.
When you're just thinking of we're all guilty.
No,
I do it at least 5 or 6 times.
We're all guilty.
So it's about OBJ. You have, if you...
I thought you almost called him OBJ. Sorry.
Hobo-J. You have to make a play this year for this team.
Yeah.
The question I ask you is, and I'm going to answer it as well before you get to, is do you think this team is going to be better this year or next year? And the obvious answer is, even if the only player we lose is Tony Pollard, who's going to be a free agent next year, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's going to make us our worst team. So this is our... Now, I think next year as well is a window, but I think that window closes real quick after next year. I think this, but hopefully TP comes back and signs, and that's that. But you can't really push off to next year.
No.
Like, we're in a position now.
Win now. Fucking go for it now.
We're in a position now where no one, after week one, I hate to keep bringing it up.
You got it.
We did not think that this would be the position that we are in. I would think that at this point when that happened, we'd be like, okay, now we're going to start winning games and we just might make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we are...
Playoffs? Seventh wild... It's like seventh wild card.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and now we're in the thick of it. Now it's like, yo, let's make a goddamn push.
The plays need to happen.
Let's try to become a first overall team here, get a bye week, get into the divisional round, and fucking make a run for this thing.
Yeah.
It's what the Rams did last year with OBJ. One last thing before we move off this, can we get his stats up? I'd like to see.
Bring up his stat line.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing OBJ's stats. OBJ or
OBJ.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, hang on a second. Kilo just sent me an ice cream cone in TikTok, so I need to...
lick it or what?
No.
You get that ice cream.
Oh, nice. I like it. Okay, so we're looking at OBJ stats right now. So what do we got here? I want to see his totals here. So touchdowns. So he's got 56 touchdowns. In 2021 with 2 teams, he had 5 touchdowns. Nothing crazy. I think it was more so his playoffs in 2021 that were more impressive. Like he had a very good run going into playoffs and then had a very good playoffs plus Super Bowl until he blew his knee out. So I don't know. We got to go look at it. Okay, so we'll look at his best year.
OBJ.
We'll look at his best year, which was in 2016. He had 101 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Like, if he can even find a little bit of that, he's only 30 right now. Like,
well, you can totally see his first 3 years were by far the better years.
Eli Manning chucking him up to him.
Yeah. So
And
get
then
him a quarterback.
Yeah, and then he lost the quarterback, and then he went to Cleveland. So
Who was his quarterback in Cleveland? I don't know.
Mayfield.
Seven different people.
Baker
Oh yeah,
Mayfield.
Oh yeah. And there was just that controversy because that
Exactly.
Cleveland team. Actually, his first year in Cleveland wasn't terrible, but that Cleveland team on paper was
Yeah.
like, oh,
their
fuck,
their
dude.
running team though.
And they yeah, you're right. They're a running team, but if you look at their receiving core, they had OBJ and
Landry.
Jarvis Landry, who they were roommates in college.
LSU Tigers.
They had
Go Tigers.
they had like good chemistry, and they just couldn't. I mean, obviously, it's not just them. You got to look at their fucking.
They had Baker Mayfield.
Their QB1.
They're QB1, baby.
Now, yeah, and arguably he's getting old. You know, if I'm looking at 29 on Madden,
Hey, man.
on Madden 23, I'm not.
T.O. came to the Cowboys at 31 years old.
No, and sometimes a team move can be that breath of fresh air that you need. And again,
sure.
we just need him to play till the end of the Super Bowl.
Doesn't got to be the man. He's just got to be there, and he just needs to be that. He needs to be that guy that at any time can take the top off a defense. He with the ball in his hands. I'm feeling like the only one on our offense right now that has that feeling is Tony Pollard. Maybe one or two plays away from breaking a big one. As much as I love CeeDee Lamb, I don't feel like he's ever one play away from scoring an 80-yard touchdown. If Odell's on the field, even if he doesn't do that, defenses are still thinking he might be that, which then in turn is going to make CeeDee Lamb a better player. It's going to make Michael Gallup a better player. It's going to make Big Ham Baller a better player.
Well, I think, and a question from the chat before I mention my thing, where on the depth chart do you think he goes? That's what Kahuna wants to ask.
So this is what they should do. Wide receiver left, OBJ. Wide receiver right, Michael Gallup. CeeDee Lamb, whatever slot on either side.
Yeah.
So those are the NFL's.
Your goal is to get, I mean, Steve Chile saying CD would be wide open. I think that would be the goal. You get an OBJ in there and a Gallup in there to help allow a guy like CD Lamb to get more
His slot reps.
Exactly.
Can I keep adding to this?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Add it. Fuck with me, DJ.
Fuck with me.
Schultze in at
Close
tight
zone?
end. Then you put in alternative slot or trips.
Yep.
TP20.
Yep.
And then you have Zeke out there just standing in the
Just
backfield.
blocking. Hey, I can't wait for the very first sounds of the sideline for Dalton Schultz to take credit for OBJ's touchdown.
Hey, OBJ.
Got you open.
Got you open, pulled him right off ya.
Bitcoin.
Hey,
Bitcoin.
oh, you know. What are you doing? What the hell?
Teach me.
Here's the thing though.
We both went there.
But if I ever do get to see Schultze, I'm definitely just want to shake his hand. I want to shake your hand.
Yeah.
I want to shake your hand.
That plane ride. I want to shake your hand.
I want to shake his hand.
I mean, there's a possibility that I would buy a Schultze jersey hat.
He gone next year.
I know
son.
exactly, knowing that he's not going to be gone. So if I'm going to buy a 1-year jersey, it's definitely going to be for the OBJ.
I'm doing this. I'm looking for the clone zone. Excuse me. Yeah, the clone zone. The tight ends. Ferguson, Hendershot. Clone zones.
The only one you can't find is a Schultz.
Yeah.
Hendershot and Ferguson's jerseys are there, but no Schultz.
And what's his name? Mecca. Who's the?
Oh, McKeon.
Yeah, McKeon.
Schultze buys all his jerseys just so that people think it's a hot seller.
What's it called? Product. Like in business.
Product is
No, if there's like too much product, then the price goes
Overhead?
down.
Oh.
But if there's less product, price goes up.
Oh yeah. Like if you have like a dead stock or something that's super limited or out of stock, the value of it
Goes up.
Yeah.
No one in the country can buy a Schultz jersey.
Schultze's jerseys on clearance.
Okay.
Now honestly, I forget what I was going to.
Sorry.
mention, but
It happens.
It wasn't as important.
It's what happens.
So whatever, doesn't matter. It wasn't that good.
It could have been, but we'll never know now.
Yeah,
You'll think about it, and
I
think
will,
about
and
it.
then it will be on a different topic, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, but I also remember what I was going to say.
Well, I guess we can let's package these two conversations.
Fuck with me,
Okay.
AJ.
I'm gonna say
How are you going to package it?
So well, I don't know, but I'm gonna try right now. Let's see
Paper
how
or
this
plastic?
works. There's no plastic in
Newspaper.
in Canada. So everything's wrapped in newspaper. Hey, if you bring your own newspaper, you save 25 cents.
Everything's wrapped in snowballs.
I'm gonna start doing that. Just bringing old newspaper and say, "Oh, do you want a bag?" No, just wrap it.
Rip, like you buy a steak from the grocery store and you rip it out of the plastic and you put it in the newspaper and wrap it up.
You guys keep this. Okay, so
It's like a dead fish.
we kind of chatted about it already. And I think the answer we all agree with, are the Cowboys a Super Bowl caliber team? Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hate to be that Cowboys fan that says it, but I honestly, with Dak Prescott at quarterback, I honestly think right now, maybe the AFC might have a little bit better competition and better quarterbacks and overall better teams. But
We only got to play one of them.
we only have I want us to fucking make it there, man. Obviously, I want us to win it, but I 100% think this team can make the Super Bowl. Clip it, bitch.
Clip it. And for Dak's career and his legacy, he's
got
probably going to end up with multiple Dallas Cowboy franchise records.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt,
Without a doubt. But he needs to be in that contention of one of the best or the best ever. There's a lot of good.
Sorry, just
Cowboys
before you
quarterbacks.
even go best
Yep.
ever, let's even just say best Cowboys quarterback ever, even, right?
No, sorry, that's what I meant.
Is that what you meant? Okay.
But even still, in the Cowboys, there's
need Super Bowls.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks. So yeah, you need to win Super Bowls to get on that Rushmore. Because who's on there now? Aikman, I can't say his name. Staubach.
Roger Staubach.
So you got
Perhaps Romo.
Aikman. So this is how a lot of people will say the four, like kind of the order, and some people might change 3 to 5 a little bit different. But I doubt anyone's going to argue with Aikman being number 1 just because he had the 3 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Staubach is number 2. He had 2 Super Bowls, and he was like America's darling, right? Was in the Army. Came out of the Army, got in the NFL at 27, was completely dominant, made up the Hail Mary pass, right? Like the guy has accolade after accolade, played in multiple Super Bowls that he didn't even win. He won 2 out of the whatever many he played in.
Right.
Then it gets a little bit
choosy,
right? Like it's whoever's flavor. You got Danny White, Tony Romo, and Dak Prescott. Those are the next 3 in the pecking order. Dak has a very, very good chance of elevating himself past. I don't know if he'll ever get past Aikman or Staubach. But
just in case you don't know, Dak needs 40 yards on Sunday to pass Roger on total yardage.
I did see that. He will pass him.
Top 3 for Cowboys.
So that's what we go into. He's by the end of Dak's career, saying he gets a 3rd contract with the Cowboys, which I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. He will hold every single passing record, touchdown record
for the Cowboys.
But to be that Mount Rushmore, or even not even that Mount Rushmore, let's do the totem pole. To be at the top of that totem pole, or even just, at your own spot in it, you got to win those Super Bowls in Dallas.
Yeah.
Especially after 27 years of not having one. Like, imagine how fucking elated everyone would be.
But do you feel? Oh fuck, dude.
Be insane.
It'd be mad. We'd ride our next 5 years of the podcast just off of that.
Remember that Super Bowl?
Remember that Super Bowl?
We'd have Super Bowl memory episodes.
The best thing about that, as soon as there's a Super Bowl, like the main thing that everyone gets beaked about, like if you're a Cowboys fan, the main thing that people
When's
go
the last
to,
time you won a ring?
was still living in the 90s. Like
J-Lo's had 5 rings since the Cowboys last ones, bro. J-Lo.
So, I mean, that would be awesome. But if you want to be on that Mount Rushmore or the top dog, you got to start winning Super Bowls.
Do you feel Dak has already surpassed Romo?
No. Romo's my guy, man.
You can't win you can't get Anthony.
A Super Bowl would.
Super Bowl, you have to. I'm still mad that Romo didn't get his chance in 2016 with the team they had. I get Dak was fucking off to an 8-1 start, 9-1 start, whatever it was. It was hard to put Romo back in because Dak had showed so much, but I'm still a little bit bitter. About that. I thought Romo could have probably got us a Super Bowl, and I think Romo was a good enough quarterback in 2014 to win us a Super Bowl, and it didn't happen.
I bet
things outside of his hands. So,
I bet you if Dak wasn't a 4th round pick, first year, it was his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
4th round or 5th?
4th.
If he wasn't 4th round, come in and show up like that. Like if he was in his 2nd year already, they probably would have switched back.
Dude, Dak just balled out so bad, man. Like, so you had Romo go down in the preseason, and then Dak literally before even preseason was done, Dak was like throwing 3 or 4 touchdowns in the preseason a game. Like Dak was killing it.
Right, and then before
Romo went down, and then Romo went down, and Dak was already playing so good. And then Dak came in. They lost the first game against the Giants, and then they just went on a fucking absolute tear. They beat Green Bay when Green Bay was the big dogs. They beat Pittsburgh when Pittsburgh was the big dogs. And it was the only times since I've been a Cowboys fan, there's been 3 times that I thought this team was good enough to win a Super Bowl. It was 2006, and then 2014 and 2016. And in 2016, I honestly thought they were going to the Super Bowl. I was ready. If they beat Green Bay in the divisional round, they go to Seattle to play the NFC Championship game. I'm already looking at how much tickets are going to be, right? I'm already planning on going to see them play Seattle. It was just such a fucking. It was so.
What? Oh, you then, or you're talking about now?
In 2016.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about now. I was like,
what do you mean?
We are.
Well, actually, this is another thing I was thinking about. There's if Dallas finishes second in the NFC East and 5th, 6th, or 7th in the NFC playoff picture, and the Seahawks finish first in their division, there's a real possibility if we each win our first playoff game that we're going to Seattle for a playoff game, boys. And they're and we're going.
Oh, you have to.
We're going, and we're going hard. We're 3 hours away. We're showing up.
Yeah,
I'm getting jacked up right now.
Look at you.
Oh, dude, we would have to go down extremely early, and we'd set up shop and just fucking have a beak sesh.
Oh
yeah,
with some stupid.
Well, the good thing with the Cowboys is the Cowboys show up everywhere they go. Guaranteed,
right.
There'd be a fuck ton of Cowboys fans.
Oh yeah, massive crew going down.
First NFC championship game. My biggest worry is people wouldn't be selling their tickets. We'd get them.
Oh, you of course
someone
tickets.
Someone would, but yeah.
Hey, if we have a game against Seattle, we're going.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
In Seattle, we're going.
100%. I was going to say, even if it wasn't in Seattle, we're going.
We should. We fucked up last year.
Yeah.
We should have went to a playoff game. It would have been shitty because we would have been down there and they lost, but it would have been paid for the way we would have planned on doing it.
111A_K is saying, I'm betting $1,000 for the Cowboys to win against the Packers. Dude, on TikTok.
Hey, thanks for the help in that transition. 111A_K. We have written down here, and we usually go into this. Usually we read articles, but guess what? We're article-less. We're running without.
I don't think we need it.
We don't need it because all we do is we just read what they say and then we say
talk
what we
about
think.
it.
So we just read their headline. So this is the big headline that we've read today in our chat was Cowboys versus Packers. The 5 loss in a row Green Bay Packers, not the 26 Green Bay Packers that the Cowboys experienced. But this is a Packers team who's lost 2 at home and then have gone on 3 road losses, beating Patriots before that and lost 5 weeks in a row. Now are playing home again to the Cowboys. Can we even that record out and give them a 6th loss in a row and a 3rd loss at home, 3rd loss away? It feels like that's appropriate. I like things to be
so
even.
My only thing with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, and this might be because not our last 2 playoff losses, but the last 2 that really, really hurt were both against the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, and the guys just ended up making magic when you thought the game was done. I'm just worried that Aaron Rodgers finds whatever he can against us. Their team is beat up. This team is not what it was when they were beating us in playoffs.
But you are nothing but garbage, yeah.
I was waiting for a 45-second clip there.
I can.
Just do it. Get it out of your system.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so
I'm saving it for the right time.
This is the thing. This Aaron Rodgers, this team's depleted. They've got multiple injuries. They don't have stud wide receivers. They have a lot of rookies. Their defense has probably been the best thing, the best unit on their team. I'm just not scared of this Packers team. And again, I keep hearing, oh, this is a trap game. This is a trap game. This is a trap game. At some point, we've been beating teams that we're supposed to beat. I honestly think we go in there and we beat the fuck out of these guys. Crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them. You know what? There is always the potential for that trap game.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Always. But
coming off a bye week.
But this is just not the team.
I just can't see that they're just not better us in any aspect of football.
No, we played a run-heavy Chicago Bears team who put up 29 points, so that is alarming. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has that ability that Fields has that caused us to have to kind of focus more on the potential of his run game. So obviously it lightens the load a little bit in what you can do on defense. Aaron Rodgers is not that type of running threat. So it's basically Blitz City.
Blitz
is
the
what
fuck
I'm
out of
calling.
them.
And just fuck their 2 running backs. Like, I like them both.
They are good. they
are
do
good.
have a good running game.
I'd equate them to the same as the Bears, but now you minus Fields, and it's not as scary.
You're not worried about Justin Fields, who just broke the quarterback rushing record last week against the Dolphins. You're not worried about that threat, right? You're worried about Aaron's throwing ability because he's arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL history.
Yep.
He doesn't have the team around him this year.
Rodgers always, so this is from non-user 1981 on TikTok. Rodgers always owns the Lions, and what happened last week, got to stop with the Aaron always pulls it out against Dallas BS.
Well, let's fucking stomp him out.
Well, let's look at the last.
Let's stomp him out.
So the last 3 games.
Ooh. So yeah, this is every time Rodgers has played the Cowboys.
Oh, I'll bring it up. And then there's another, I don't even know how to say this person's name. They just say, check your IG DMs. It's like a so I don't know.
It better be a dick pic.
If it's not a penis, I'm going to be very upset.
And then our boy 21 Armando 21 says, fellas.
Oh, hey, that's Deffy.
Deffy? Oh, okay. Is he on? Does he want on?
Yeah, he'll be on. We're going to get him on. I could hop on right now, he said, actually.
I could get
Yeah,
him
we
on.
can get you on.
Cut to our angle.
Oh, hang on.
Cut to the angle. Yeah.
No. The camera. Yeah, there.
So we just need your
20 Armando 21 right
Oh shit, son. We just need your email. Deffy.
there. And then text it to me.
Deffy Talks Cowboys. Hopefully hopping on.
Well, if that's going to happen, let's just get through this quickly. What I wanted to just point
Let's see
out of this record, the last time Rodgers played the Cowboys was 2019. That's a fucking lifetime ago in this day and age of the NFL. But 2017, 2 victories against the Cowboys. 2019, a victory against the Cowboys. So
The 2017 one, the 115, that was the divisional round.
right,
And then
smashed.
yeah, that was such a good fucking football game. It was really. I just watched the highlights not too long ago.
Yeah, you shared that. With
Oh
us.
man, it was so good. It was honestly such a good game. Just had a very terrible outcome.
But my point is, I don't think that it's too far removed. We're in 2022 now. That's 3 years ago. This Cowboys team is a different team, and so are the Packers. Like the only weapons that they have from that time is I believe Aaron Jones.
Yep, and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The Aarons.
So the Aarons, not concerned, and 3 things that the Cowboys have to do to win.
Yep.
There it goes.
Well, hey, let's wait for Deffy to hop on here too. I guess we could talk about it. We just got Deffy Talks Cowboys, which is I'll give him a little intro while we're getting him on here. He's
And someone already is saying, "Wait, y'all getting Deffy on the show?"
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah, we're getting getting Deffy on, baby.
Hey, what's that name? Hey, chill.
Six
God. Six God. One of my favorite wrestlers, even though I never liked his face.
1, 2, 3 kid.
But what I was gonna say with Deffy Talks Cowboys, the guy's he's a huge space in on the Instagram app and Twitter. I will say this, and I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this. I look for his post on Instagram for Cowboys news. Like if I'm on the app, if I'm at work, I don't got time to go on NFL.com. I gotta search the whole thing. I gotta check what's going on Instagram. And he's usually right up there filling the shit in. He writes for Blogging the Boys. He's definitely he's on his way up in the Instagram and the social media aspect of Cowboys football.
It also is one of the go-to we started, and when I say we, I mean
is
you.
this CanFan folklore?
It's a little bit of folklore. We started basically just posting Dallas Cowboys.
If the old way isn't cutting it anymore, it's time for a change. If a steady and thriving career is your goal, claim it. If you're looking for solid clientele, our great customers are ready for you. If a flexible salon is more your style, let's get there together. If you're looking for a home where you can be you, our chair is right in front of you. Come join us.
Obviously, it's a huge fan base. Just in general, the people who are interested in Cowboys itself more fucking digital tickets to their TV shows. This is why so many guys' fucking careers have been based off of that. Now, you do get the Schefters who are just all around reporting. So, like, I won't necessarily include him in that. And there's other guys than him, but that's just kind of like the main dude who stands out to me. But there are guys who literally just make their career based off of how can I take what Jerry Jones says, or how can I spin this into like a Cowboys fucking, even if that's not their their main focus, they're a national sports broadcasting fucking show, and the Cowboys just help them sell tickets. And that's why we're doing it, baby. That's why me and Adam got on board.
But then we got sucked in, brother, and the mega powers got into it with the Cowboys. And now,
Hey, look at this record though with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I
7
haven't
and
brought
3.
it up yet. One
Yeah.
sec.
7 and you haven't even brought that up.
No,
you did have it up.
I had it up for a little
you
bit.
had it up.
I'm just trying
So
to get
just-
the Zoom stuff going here.
So I'm just okay. Well, you just do that. I'm just looking
Yeah,
at this Aaron
I was
Rodgers.
just gonna say, I as I'm going through this, Lila's like, there's music overlapping. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? I had to like log into the thing, and there's music playing in the background. I'm like, I don't know where the music's coming from, so I tracked it down.
Where is it?
I don't know. I figured it out. I don't know where it
Sweet
is.
story, babe.
Cool.
But I'm just and then EJ Savage is just showing up and goes, damn it, my girl has me watching this Love Is Blind shit.
Hey,
But I made it, boys. So what up, EJ?
Hey,
EJ's in the house.
bandwagon Baba, keep it up, and you're gonna get an internship.
We got to teach her how to do the.
Well, she already does. She gets
Yeah.
us sandwiches, and she gets us gets us screenshots.
That's beautiful. When we do the rebrand, I
You do?
mean, like when we do our 19, and we've talked about this. I don't know if we're committed to it, but we've talked about doing a 1980s type of poster, and with all the characters. I mean, we're gonna have this fucking epic pyramid of characters.
Can I be shirtless but with abs?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, for sure.
I want
Okay,
hair
can
on my.
we look
I
at
want
this-
hairy chest.
Can we
It's
look at
been
this?
it's been on the whole fucking
This
time.
fucking Aaron Rodgers. Okay, the dude is 7 and 3 against the Cowboys. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you even? I don't even know if those first 2 games that did he play those even, or was he just on the team? You must have played him, right? This is a start.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, he's got
now you can
completion.
see- yeah.
Okay, so he's legit 7 and 3 against the Cowboys. Hopefully 7 and 4, but he has. If you look at his stats against the Cowboys, his average yards 261, completion percentage 67.4, which is very good. Average attempts.
Are you dying over
I'm dying over here. I'm
okay,
trying to
he's
talk.
okay.
You worry
Better
about
stop
Zoom.
down on me. Better
He's
stop
throw-
down on me.
He definitely comes out and plays Huck'em Chuck'em football.
Huck'em chuck'em football.
Now his lowest percentage have been his last. Outside of the one game, his 3 of his top 4 lowest percentages have come in his last 3 games.
Yeah, let's make it. Man, I want Micah. Micah's got some Aaron in his sights. The Lions getting hungry on that motherfucker.
How are the Packers? While I'm asking this, I'm just going to throw it out there. How are the Packers against the run D?
Well, their running offense is very good. They have a very good running offense.
Okay, so that's their bread and butter.
Armando.
Well, they're
Is it
3
right?
and 6. I don't know if they really have a bread and butter right now, but this is the thing. And I don't want to. We said trap game. I don't want to call it a trap game. I honestly think we're gonna lay them the fuck out. I think we're gonna fuck them up.
There's nothing on the Packers that, the only thing on the Packers is Aaron Rodgers, and I'm just not convinced that he is playing to the same ability. Look, we watched that Lions game, man.
It was bad.
And that I do remember. But he made almost three consecutive, it felt like.
It felt like it.
Probably like within a small amount of time, red zone interceptions.
Yeah,
Now-
which is very rare for the dude.
Very rare, yeah.
Super rare for Aaron Rodgers to make those mistakes, and you could see him getting frustrated on the sideline. You could see him frustrated after every pass, and that's the way you beat Aaron Rodgers. You got to get him pissed off and
Get in his
mad.
head.
You got to get it. I would love to see an early interception because those 3 interceptions from last week are still going to be in his brain, right? An early interception, and I almost think and it's kind of tough to say because he's one of the greatest that's ever played. He shouldn't be able to, or he should be able to move past a couple bad throws. But I think this year he just seems beatable.
I personally do like Aaron Rodgers. I
fucking hate the guy. He's a
right.
weasel.
And
Used car salesman looking fuck.
this is the type,
Snake oil salesman.
but this is the type of dude he is, right?
Yeah.
So he is you have to think the amount of media press that he's had to deal with. This is all additional shit to just regular football day to day. On top of that, he's a regular person on, say, he's moving more into
psychedelics
podcasts. He was on that Caleb Presley Sunday Conversation,
which is pretty funny.
Which is very funny. He constantly goes on
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. I'm not saying that these things are huge excursions, but at some point, all of that additional mental fucking pressure, even under the best mind, it's going to have some sort of effect. And sometimes we know that these quarterbacks are such a rare breed, and their ability to play at a high level and stand out from the rest of the NFL we're talking about going from 98% to 100%. That's a very small margin of talent here. And a lot of it is to do with mental. So you start fucking that up, crack it.
Oh, that was aggressive. That was some pent up energy. Crack him if you got him, son.
But are we seeing a mirror situation with Aaron Rodgers, perhaps, in Tom Brady, and that they have both had they're both experienced NFL quarterbacks? So I don't think the NFL is getting to them. But you put yourself in this position of having additional mental anguish, whether you want to or not. People start talking about you and you have to go out and promote shit. You're going to hear this shit back, right? So is that having kind of an effect, or are they already kind of 1 foot out the door and their talent's still good enough that they can keep playing football?
That's my thing.
Yeah.
I think their mindsets are so good. And Rodgers is a little bit different. I don't think he's on a good NFL team. Maybe with a regular quarterback or above average quarterback, the Packers are 0-9 or 1-8 or 2-7, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this 3-6 isn't as bad as obviously it's a very, very bad record, but with a normal quarterback, maybe they're worse, right? I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the problem on the Packers right now. I just think they're very bad. I don't think they're a good football team.
And I don't know if the I remember hearing this year. What?
No, I was gonna say I sent the link, so I didn't know if he was.
Okay. I remember hearing kind of year after year, or maybe this was just Aaron Rodgers' projection of it. Again, because he's in the media too much.
All the time, baby.
But they never really seemed to draft to help him out. And so I wonder if it's just caught up and you literally don't have those weapons. You're hoping someone pops up and shows up like Valdes Scantling. I don't know when he was drafted, but he came up and he played well enough for the Cowboys. Now, mind you, they had fucking who was there? Adams catching the ball as well out there.
This is the thing. They let Devontae Adams go, and they didn't think there was going to be some sort of fallout from that. They let go one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
They let him go. What I mean, Anthony,
there was no one to take.
And Valdes Scantling too. He was their only other kind of.
Doesn't he still play for them?
No, he's
in,
on the Chiefs.
Yeah, Cincy KC.
Yeah. So it's like if you're gonna
they have Lazard.
let him go because you can't. Yeah, they have Lazard. But if you're gonna let this receiver go, who maybe because you can't afford him, right?
Yeah.
But then you gotta look and be like, okay, but this guy's gonna replace him, kind of like, I guess in a way, Cooper. I'm not comparing Cooper to Adams, but the same scenario. It's like, oh, we have to let one of these guys go for monetary reasons. We're going to have to let Cooper go because we're invested in CeeDee Lamb. He's the younger guy. Okay, that makes sense. But
there's someone in the wings.
There's someone in the wings, exactly.
In the alleyway.
So we've already said, but let's just go into the 3 things the Cowboys need to do to beat these stupid Packers, these cheeseheads.
Are we each going to go one? Ad's kind of doing some stuff
me
going.
and you
And I? Okay, so we'll
you.
bounce some ideas off of each other here. I think the number one, and I actually kind of said it already, kind of just as we were conversing there, get to Aaron Rodgers early and often and force a turnover. I honestly think if they cause a turnover from Aaron Rodgers early in the game, I know it seems a little radical to say, but if they cause an early turnover, I think that's going to be game over. I think the dude's in his head more than I've seen him ever. You always see him blowing up on the sidelines. You see him getting frustrated. I can't remember ever seeing it's rare to see Aaron Rodgers throw 1 interception in a game, let alone 3. So my biggest thing, if the Cowboys can get a turnover early, it's going to really help them win that football game.
Early turnover. It doesn't matter if it's a forced fumble.
Don't care, but it has to be on Aaron Rodgers. It has to either sack, fumble, recovery. Like we got to sack him, force a fumble and recover it, or it's got to be an interception.
What we want to try to do is continue that at least visual wedge that we witnessed last week.
Yep.
And keep him exactly whatever that frustration might be. Another alternative would be that he's throwing passes that he thinks are catchable, but we're just making them not catchable, and then he gets mad at his receivers. Either way, being able to throw Rodgers off his game and have him get in his own head, that's the kind of, I think, number one thing that we can do.
Yep.
Whether it comes from pressure, sacks, interceptions, catches he thinks are should be caught, but we break them up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so number 2,
you're going all 3. This is your 3.
Well, I don't know. Like, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh yeah,
and we'll go. We're doing this we're walking down together. We're holding hands.
This is our journey.
We might have 6. We might only have 3.
I just got Morv text me.
Go ahead.
Big Cowboys fan, another Can fan here. I'm getting pretty fucking sick and tired of Cowboy speculation that we'll get OBJ. Jerry Jones is a fucking bitch. He stopped going after guys since we had the inmate team back in the day.
There it is.
There it is. There's a take. And,
I mean, spoken
I don't disagree.
No, but
did you get
who
that?
that could have been sans the last line?
Ultra Cowboy.
Ultra Cowboy.
Is more of Ultra Cowboy.
It could have also been All Evens podcast Barry Grant Jr.
Yep, I agree.
So it's you know what? It's the freshness in me that makes me think it's gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, I would love for it to happen, but I know we've talked about it. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, point 2, AJ. What do you got going?
So I think the Cowboys need to score on their first drive, whether that's
kind of like against the Bears.
Yes, they need to score on their first drive. That's very important because it kind of and I would love it to be a passing touchdown,
like a big bomb.
It doesn't have to be. Oh, you know what I'd love to see is a big bomb in that first drive.
I want to see another Dak Prescott TD.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, rushing in? Sure. Dak needs to score the first touchdown, whether that be by his floppy clown shoe feet or by slinging a fucking pass that CeeDee Lamb used to go up with one hand and catch. Like Spider-Man.
CeeDee Lamb, Spider-Man catch, touchdown.
I mean, I'm not calling that it has to be CeeDee.
Is that your bold prediction?
We're going to get to that. Don't worry.
Well,
but I think that isn't in now. I could kind of asterisk that by they need to keep that ball rolling, of course, but you can't really. I don't like it when they don't score for fucking the first
2 quarters.
Well, the first 2.
We don't want 3 and outs. 3 and outs are fucking terrible. I don't like just saying one up on that. I don't even really care if they score on the first drive. Yeah, points are awesome on your very first drive, field goal or touchdown. What I don't want to happen is a 3 and out. Those 3 and outs on the very first drive are so gut-wrenching. It's like a kick. It literally takes the wind out of your sails.
So if you're on the field, and you're the only one in this room who's ever played football, and
Chilliwack Giants, baby.
Chilliwack Giants, baby, represent.
Allegedly.
Chilliwack Giants.
But
better stop trying them.
Better stop trying them.
What would you prefer? Your offense to be on the field for 75% of the game, or your defense?
Offense, because if your defense is on 75% of the time,
you're losing.
You're losing.
Okay.
No matter how good. I mean, even I want the offense to be on more than the defense.
Right. Is it because it's easier to rest on offense where you want to rest? Like what's the benefit? Like, why is it so?
The benefit to that, so the reason you want time of possession, right? When your offense is on the field running down the throats, for whatever reason, when your offense has the better time of possession, the defense has a harder time playing their type of game. If your offense is on the field just kind of picking away, not only are you in control of the game, right? If you're on the field the most, you're in control of the game. The defense doesn't have control of the clock at all, right? So if your offense is on their lots, you have the ball, you're controlling it, and you're wearing out the defense, right? If your defense goes on and is out, gets the opposing team's offense out in 3 plays, and then your offense is back out there for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but playing offense seems to be less tiring than playing defense.
Right.
And that might sound stupid, but it's in multiple sports like that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in soccer, hockey, lacrosse, any of these sports, when your offense is in attack mode, it's like almost harder to defend in attack mode. Even UFC, if you're in defense mode and you're defending, for whatever reason, it's more tiring than the person expelling the attack. And it's just like that in any type of sport. You're never seeing a hockey.
And you're saying the attack on defense trying to
in any sport, basketball, any team that is constantly applying the pressure and in control of the game seems to be the team that has more pep in their step. I don't know why that is. Like, why would a team? Why couldn't a defense do that? It just does. It doesn't happen in any sport.
Or obviously, if the defense is doing that, you're not getting the down. So,
if a defense is your the side of the ball or the side of any sport that is applying pressure, it's just giving your offense more opportunities.
Yeah,
right.
And you can't say this. You can't say
you don't want your defense on 75% of the time.
No, but at least on offense, if like I need a breather because I just sprinted 50 yards, caught a ball, I can at least say, okay, I'm just gonna
throw it to me
jog
again
on this one because I need to catch my breath. But you can't if that happens on the cornerback. It's like, okay, well then we're gonna switch him, and now he's gonna have to take this. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to pick and choose when you have to fucking go hard on defense.
Yeah.
Six God says couldn't have said it any better, and Hazy Yell says that's true because you're going at someone else's pace.
Yeah, just in any type of anything, it's just you're always if you're in control, you're not only is it a mind thing too, right? If your offense is on there just constantly pounding, if your offense has less playing time, if we have less possession than the opposing team, it's honestly the worst thing that can happen to your offense. You don't get in a rhythm, and it means you're obviously having 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Right?
So we have pressure on Aaron Rodgers in any shape and form to knock him off his game.
And then maybe this is kind of a weird one that just came from this talk, time of possession.
Right? So score on first down, score early.
Score early.
Score often,
and then time of possession.
Score early, score often.
Score more points than the Green Bay Packers, but then
even so fast you can't even talk about it. Lucky person, out there somewhere is going to win a silver cloud. What a lucky person.
He was just waiting in the. I'm honestly, I hate, like AJ said last time, I hate that it gets cut off. Like, what the fuck does he say at the very end?
He's gonna say something else, but that's it.
I felt like he was gonna say something else.
Maybe next time we're gonna have the full version, and it's gonna go from 10.4 seconds to 15 seconds. Oh yeah.
AJ, toss me one, son, please. So and then I think third one to beat them is time. Oh.
That came just over to the defender's head.
Was that a sign that we're going to get OBJ for that OBJ catch?
Des Bryant caught it, baby.
Oh, good.
Say, Des Bryant's right beside you. To the left.
Hey, for those of you just listening, we're holding up a Madden 17 Des Bryant Ultimate Team Series fucking
I feel bad that I had to knock Dak Prescott's rookie card out of the way to grab it, but
damn, what do we have here? Is this a pawn shop?
And then who do you have on the other side of the helm? Just go ahead and see it. This is no.
You got to tune into the YouTube to see all this action. Oh,
it's just 2.
There's trinkets everywhere.
You know, but on the other side of the helmet, there's another.
Oh shit!
Another wideout.
Who's this?
T.O. baby. T.O. baby.
T.O.
And then
hey, can I take them out and have them be on the same team?
It's like my dream team. It's my dream team.
Okay, so now what do the Packers have to do to beat the Cowboys? That might be a more trickier question for us. Before we get into that,
crack 'em
if you got them, son.
You know what I got to pull up? I got to pull up the Packers roster. I got to pull up the
up
Cowboys Packers data, and that's going to help me decide. Please keep talking while I do this.
Six God says, I need to see Micah hit that belt celebration after he sacks Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. You know it's coming.
Oh, listen. I
Dude.
want him Aaron
Mama Micah.
Aaron fucked me on fantasy. I have him in one of my fantasy leagues this weekend. So I want that motherfucker to just feel the pain.
He didn't have a terrible game last week. Still got 16 points.
Didn't have a terrible game, but
You
he didn't have
beat
a great
me.
game.
He was your quarterback against me, and you beat me.
I know, and I didn't beat you enough.
You fucking smoked me, and I was the favorite.
I know, and
Bullshit.
I didn't smoke you enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anth, right now, this is the point where I'm usually the one who's doing stuff behind the scenes here. But Alex is working on something right now. Ant's working on something right now. So you got me. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was
Getting a colonoscopy. It's important. No, I can keep talking here. I was just kind of seeing. We had multiple people say they wanted to be on and then no-showed us, which is fine.
You are nothing but garbage.
No.
Yeah.
You're always welcome. We keep the show rolling, and guess what? Lines are open.
Lines are open.
What
we
we'll
haven't made
say.
the lines too live.
So
yet.
3 things that the Packers have to do to beat the Cowboys. 1, I honestly think instead of relying on Aaron Rodgers, the Packers have to rely on their running game. The running game has to pick up first downs, has to pick up big chunk plays. The Cowboys defense is at its worst when a team is running on us. You put in a very good rushing attack with Dylan and Aaron Jones, that automatically opens up a very good passing lane for Aaron Rodgers in play action. So if the Packers want to beat us, they're going to have to establish the run. And I know that sounds super cliche, but it's the truth.
On the YouTube, also on TikTok, if you do that kind of thing, I don't know. But either way, if you search Cowboys Can Fan, we'll pop up.
And we back.
We back.
Subscribe to us. And then also just come join us for that live stream. It's a lot of fun. We also give away a shirt there's the potential to give away a shirt or multiple shirts.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, yeah.
Every single week by guessing the Cowboys. And I guess
It's been so fast you can't even talk about it. Lucky person, yeah, out there.
It's just because a lucky person, whoever guesses the score gets the shirt. That's what I was
Oh.
Lucky person.
I can't even understand Macho Man when he's talking.
Well, you're not graced with that type of
If you join us, not even the fucking mic wants me to talk. If you join us on the live stream on Sunday at 1:25 p.m. PST, 4:25 EST.
Guess the score,
guess
you get
the score,
a t-shirt.
You'll get a shirt if you get it right. And actually, the only time it's happened was, oddly enough, and there's no way we could have fucking set this up unless we have some sort of inside baseball with or behind baseball with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys in the NFL.
Who's saying we don't?
In-house, our boy Matty Vink guessed correctly the first game, and that's the only time that we've had it. So
give us a second point, someone, anybody. This poster. What is the second point? What do the Packers have to do? We were killing time because it crashed. It crashed. I got it.
But
I got it.
I think I agree with you. The first point is correct. The passing game is not really something to be terribly more concerned with than we have been. So just keep playing that and continue that. That's what's going to be happening for the Packers. So they should just be rushing the ball and trying to do what they can to wear down the Cowboys defense. And then when the opportunity exists, sling it out, because they still are putting up an average of 225 passing yards a game. So, I mean, look, if Cooper was averaging that, we wouldn't be snuffing at that. But it is Aaron Rodgers.
We wouldn't be making
more.
snuff films.
We wouldn't be making the snuff films that we are today. Okay.
Debatable. Where's the rushing yards on this?
Rushing yards are rushing average.
No, go up.
Oh.
I think it's up. I think it's rushing yards. There it is.
Deffy's connecting to audio.
Oh shit. Deffy in the house.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got
Hey.
you. What up?
There we go. Finally. I mean, this has been a while in the making.
I know you were getting sick and tired of all the dick pics I was sending you, but
It finally worked. It worked.
I had the story up and I deleted it. I was like, oh my god, he grandstanded us, so I took it off the story. But who cares?
No,
You're here.
hell no.
Deffy
No.
Cowboys. What up, man? This has been a long time coming. We've been chatting for a couple months now. Seems like.
I'm pretty sure I remember almost hopping on for like the Panthers game last year, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, maybe, but I don't think we knew it was you though, or did we? Was it
No,
after the game? Were we wasted?
No, you guys were. It was it was mid game, but you guys were like I remember I was like I never got a code or whatever. We just talked about it before the game, and we just never nothing ever went through.
Oh, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Hey man, before you hopped on, I was telling everyone that you got a pretty bomb ass Instagram going, and I actually use your Instagram for a lot of my Cowboys.
Same with me.
Insight, and I said it was kind of embarrassing, but it's the truth, and I give props that you've built a very, very loyal fan base on your social media accounts. But just give yourself a little intro here, just so anyone that is listening can kind of figure out what you got going on.
Okay. Well, damn, you're kind of putting me on the spot, but I got you. So, long story short, I've been around since 2019, but I didn't really I remember when I first made my account, do you know who JPA Football is?
No.
Oh, well, he's like a news guy, and he was always. I made friends with him before he made his news account, and he was always pushing me to make a fan page for the Cowboys. And I was like, okay, fine. And I eventually did it. But one thing that I was never posting was my own opinions. And I noticed everybody else was doing the same thing. And it always felt so like generic almost, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Seeing what other people would post. So that always kind of irked me. And I remember there was some Cowboys pages that I'm good friends with them now, but they have 100K and things like that. And back in the day, they had 70K. And I remember one of them tried to kind of ego me a little bit, and he was like, what do you know, you have 7,000 or 6,000 followers at the time.
That's
and that pissed me off.
Oh, we get that all the time right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I never understood doing that when because at the end of the day somebody could leapfrog you instantly.
Yep. Totally.
But that kind of irked me to the point where I started trying to not be different, because if you try to be different, it's going to come off extra, you know what I mean? Cringy. So I just, instead of trying to be different, I tried to be myself and post my opinions regardless of what other people would say. And the first thing, my very first big thing that I got a lot of shit for was Jalen Smith. I was on Jalen Smith a year before anybody else was. I'm telling you, man.
I think that's how I found you, actually, was through, sorry, just to cut you off.
You're good.
The way I found your page was you were fighting with, and this is going to get very geeky into Cowboys social media folklore, but you were arguing with West Coast Cowboy, I think, if you know who that is. He's another page. And people were bashing him for bashing you. And I was like, I don't know who either of these guys are. And I followed both and just kind of watched. And then I'm pretty sure that's how I started following your page.
Yeah, West Coast Cowboy. Yeah, I mean he's an interesting guy, but that whole entire thing started because this is gonna sound ridiculous, but this was during COVID. I had just started going back to class. I was a senior in high school at the time.
Oh,
and and I remember I had posted because Antoine Woods was him and Jordan Lewis, they tweeted and they were talking shit about Cowboys fans almost. They didn't directly say it, but they were oh, let's see us go to your 9 to 5 and talk shit to you. And I was except that's not the same thing. These 9 to 5 people aren't getting paid, a shit ton. And I don't mean to be just to come off ignorant when I say that, but it's the truth. And I was that's kind of disrespectful to the Cowboys fans that ride or die for you.
Yep.
And I posted it, and I don't remember what I said. I said something hella aggressive. I did not have a filter, and he commented on the post, Antoine Woods, and we started talking shit to each other. And I told him that he was one of the worst players on our team, and he was like, "You're crazy." He was like, "Show me the film." And I pulled up I made an entire film session of him being dog shit in 2020. And
shit blew up from there.
Yeah, and West Coast Cowboy was in the comments and he was like, "Nah, he's our guy," and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, he's the West Coast. I always had problems with him because of Jalen Smith, because they know each other in real life or something. And West Coast is very he doesn't give his real opinions. He gives what, if he's friends with the player, he's gonna dick ride, and I've never been a fan of that.
Fair.
Because I follow, I speak to Simi Fehoko all the time.
Yep.
and I still like, I remember I posted and I made like a tier list of all the players we drafted, knowing that he would see my post. I still put him in the bottom tier because that's just not how I want to like do things. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit or whatever.
Yep. So Deffy, do you get in contact with these players simply from posting and then them reacting and wanting to engage?
Well, it honestly depends. So there's obviously the Antoine Woods direction where I'm an asshat and they come to me. But there's also like with Simi, I remember I posted like some like update post about him. And the images that I posted, I have this method where I find like the best images, the most recent images, and I also have an app that I use that like makes them higher quality. And he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, how'd you get this?" And like I showed him what I do, and like I helped him out. He followed me. Sorry. And after I spoke to him, like it just kind of became like a constant thing because like a lot of my like what Simi does. I don't know if you guys followed him before he was a Cowboy, but he's always been like a TikTok guy. So like in terms of like social media,
he had a big social media outreach prior to even being a Cowboy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has like a grasp with that type of stuff. And that's how my like my followers are. So like they kind of meshed well together and like we'd talk all the time. Like I remember I was the last time I spoke to him was before the season. Cause I try not to bother when during the season. Cause I feel like that's kind of like, weird. So the last time we spoke was before the season, and I was like, "Do you know when we're gonna wear the Thanksgiving helmets?" And he was like asking coaches and shit for me, and I was like, "That's kind of cool to think about."
That's hilarious.
So it's that, and I remember after we drafted Jabril Cox, he said something about liking Kansas City barbecue more, and I joked and I was like, "Cut him," even though I love Jabril Cox. And he commented, he commented some kind of like jokey like response. And so most of the time I'll talk to rookies whenever they like need images and stuff like that.
Right.
Like Osa is always liking my stuff. It's mainly that class, but yeah, that's about it.
No, honestly, that's hey man, like I said, your social media presence, you have some diehard followers. I like I like reading through the comments of the shit of some of your posts that you post. I just like reading the fucked up shit that the guys that follow you say in the post. Like sometimes the stuff going on in the comments is better than what you're posting, and it's just it's pretty wild, and it just shows that you've built a pretty trustful following the Cowboys. It's this weird like sub genre thing, right? Like you're following a team, but then you have fans of you that are more fans of you than the team. It's just this social. It's this weird social media thing that's awesome.
I've never really like in terms of like I hate when somebody's like, "What do you think about like?" And I'm not saying you did this, but like I don't like when everybody like refers to my followers as fans because I try my best to like speak to everyone, like literally everybody. I don't have an ego when it comes to stuff like that. I will help anyone. I will help anyone get started. You've probably seen me like shout out like random 50 follower accounts because like I know that when I was in that position, I would want that help, and I would think it's cool as fuck that DC.network is friends with me or talking to me or whatever. Like I will always try to like help any fan page, but there's a lot of like snaky people, and I can tell that you guys aren't the type of people. So I wasn't like hesitant to come on the show. It was just always bad timing.
Well, actually, the reason we're trying to bring you on is we're going to try to get you involved with this easy system that you pay us $2,000. No, I'm just fucking around. But let's
get pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Ponzi scheme, right?
But hey, let's get into this Packers Cowboys game. Before you hopped on, we were kind of talking 3 things that the Cowboys had to do to win this game, and then 3 things that the Packers had to do to win this game. So we'll start off. You don't even have to give 3. Give us one of your main things that the Cowboys have to do to beat the Packers, and then follow that up with one main thing that the Packers have to do to beat the Cowboys.
So to beat the Packers, the first thing that comes to mind is running the football, because that run defense is like, I saw Michael Gelkin tweet the other day. They're averaging like running backs are averaging like 116 yards per game with like 4 to 5 yards per attempt. Like that should be like the Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott game that people always constantly talk about. Like, because I feel like everybody's always like, oh yeah, why do we need to compare them? They're both good on their own, and they can be used as a duo. But we've never really had that duo game. Like I mean, I guess you could say like against like the Rams in 2019 where they both played incredible, but it's always usually like, oh, Tony Pollard is playing incredible and Zeke's like averaging like 3.5 yards per carry, or oh, Tony Pollard got 2 carries for 8 yards and Zeke has fucking 15 carries for 120 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, this should be the game where each player gets like 15. Like if it was up to me, I would give each, like, we should have at least 40 combined carries. That run defense is not it in Green Bay. And as for what Green Bay, so the first question was, what do we need to do?
And before you move on from that, I completely agree with what you're saying. Even just going with this season with Zeke and Pollard, it literally feels like one of them will have a good game one week, the other one will have a good game the next week. One will have a good game the next week. You know, it's always like a hopscotch of what player seems to be the lead back. I do fully believe that we need both these guys to make the Super Bowl, but I also want to see that game too, where each of them gets 15 carries and each of them has over 100 yards, and then they have like a combined 3 or 4 touchdowns. We've really, like you said, maybe the LA game, but that is few and far between. We've never utilized Tony Pollard and Zeke to their full potential, and it's like if we unlock this one key of these two guys, who the fuck is going to stop them? No one. If they like, it seems like we don't know how to utilize both these guys to have their maximum potential in one game.
And then another thing that people don't really grasp is like Cooper Rush isn't at quarterback. Like we have whatever you think about Dak Prescott, defensive coordinators are afraid of Dak Prescott throwing the football. So when you have defensive coordinators making Dak Prescott's job harder, that just makes Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard's job easier. And we also have one of the better run blocking offensive lines in football. So that's just like a match made in heaven, and we haven't used it for the past, 4 years? It's about to be 5 years. I mean, Tony Pollard's not going to be here for his 5th year, obviously.
Yeah, he's gone.
So
we hope he's not going to be gone.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Let's just say that.
Before we jump into that entire debacle, but I want to know, do you feel like maybe this last game unlocked more of that ability to put the confidence in, and maybe this is just like the perfect storm, right? Like, oh, we're running into this type of defense that's very, very weak at blocking the rush, and Tony Pollard just went off. Zeke's been having a pretty damn good season considering his utilization and how the season's unfolded so far. So is this maybe that game there? Is that potential a little higher, do you feel, for this game specifically?
I mean, I feel like I don't know, because I feel like Tony Pollard could have like 25 carries for 400 yards and they wouldn't give a fuck. Like they're just so enamored with like 2016 Ezekiel Elliott and 2018 Ezekiel Elliott. They just can't grasp that like this is how the NFL works. Running backs' knees are like butter by year 5, and it's Zeke's in year 7. Like I just can't grasp, like if we had, like, what's a good example? Like if we had a young guy behind CeeDee Lamb that was performing better, you would obviously want that young guy to see more opportunities. Yeah. No one would bat an eye. But once it comes to Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, like, oh, well, why do we have to compare the both? It's like if you have a guy leading the league in yards after contact per attempt, you want to use that guy. And that's the funny part, because people are like, he's too little to play the position, except he's 7th in yards after contact, but 28th in attempts. Yeah. Like that's not normal. People think that's normal because all running backs average more, all backup running backs average more yards per attempt than the starter. There's not a single one. Nick Chubb's backup doesn't average more yards per attempt. Derrick Henry's doesn't. Dalvin Cook's doesn't. Even though Alexander Madison's great, he doesn't. Like it's context. Like Tony has only 20 less carries. This isn't like back then where you could make the argument, oh, well, he has 100 less carries. That's why, because he, like, you can't use that argument anymore. Like, they're neck and neck. And, I mean, it's one thing if Zeke was still, like, one of those grinders that everybody hypes him up to me, but he's I feel like he's more of like he's lost a lot of his power because he lost. I remember he lost a lot of weight, but his speed still isn't there that like everybody was hyping up all offseason.
Yeah,
and
I'll admit,
I don't know.
I'm that guy. I'll admit, I'll be the first one to admit that I'm still that fucking praying to whatever God that wants to listen that Zeke will find his 2016 form. My only thing with the whole Tony Pollard Zeke thing, and I'm not going to argue that, I mean, after last game, it's very hard to argue that Tony Pollard isn't the better. Like, we were watching that. I'm like, Tony Pollard's the better running back right now. He is. He's 100% the better running back. I still think there is room for both the guys to coexist on this offense. Tony Pollard did that on 14 carries last week. He should be getting 14 carries every fucking game. Yeah. That shouldn't take anything away. Minimum. I'm saying minimum, right? Tony Pollard, 100%. And I think we said this on the last cast. He should have more carries than Zeke going forward. What makes me nervous about Tony Pollard, and he still hasn't proved it to me, is that he can block. And I know this is a huge thing and a huge knock, and this shouldn't take carries away from him. It just makes me nervous when we try to go to some of our other plays away from the running game that I'm pretty sure he was blocking, and obviously it's not on him, but when Dak got knocked out with the thumb injury in week 1, I'm pretty sure Tony was in. I don't know if he missed a block. He was in. He was on the field. I've just always thought Zeke was almost kind of like and this is going to be a very overzealous thing to say, but he feels like a 6th offensive lineman when he's on the field. He doesn't miss blocks.
No, you're right.
So I do think that plays into it. For Jerry Jones to come out and say, no, this team goes through Zeke, I think is a stupid pig-headed thing to say, because it doesn't. It goes through both these running backs. This is like any good team in the NFL, it's a two-headed attack, right? Well, they just need to figure out how it works the best.
And if we're winning games and the tandem's working back there, because we've kind of shifted away from that fullback running back scenario, and it's like a 2 running back system, you can still have Zeke in the play. I think if we're winning these games and the offense is progressing the way it needs to be, then we're overpaying Zeke for what he's doing.
We are.
Yeah, of course, exactly. But I'm saying it's non-issue. It's like, hey, if he's doing his role and he's taking the tough yardage, he's blocking when he needs to, then who gives a fuck?
The thing with this, and I'll let Defi hop in here pretty quick. The thing with Zeke's contract, it's obsolete because there was no way of getting out of it this year. You have it. You've paid it. He's there. Even talking about it, I hate when people are like, oh, well, Zeke's contract. It's like, it doesn't matter. We're paying the fucker this year. He's part of the team. Obviously, it becomes something next year. But the issue has been with these two, I still think Zeke's a very good running back, and Tony Pollard is a fringe superstar. And like you said, if he's not on our team next year and he goes to some other team and ends up being this like 1,800 yard a season
I'll punch
guy,
myself in the face.
we're all gonna just we're all just gonna go nuts, because he has showed that Zeke doesn't have that breakaway speed. Tony Pollard is literally like one broken tackle away from taking it to the house on every time he touches the ball.
Dude, if I'm Tony Pollard, I'm thinking about I probably love the Cowboys.
How many cars you can have in your garage?
Oh, but I'm thinking about my career. I either need to be the starting running back in this team next year, or I'm going to be going somewhere else. Yeah.
I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out.
I probably have like the unpopular opinion that I would rather just not have either of them next year, because I don't want to.
Baby, Dowdle and Davis, let's go.
Well, here's the thing: I've never been a first round running back guy, but holy fuck, is Bijan Robinson making that so hard to like ignore? I don't know. I don't like he's just amazing, and I'm not a fan. Obviously, Zeke. Like, I was a kid when Zeke got extended, so I was excited. But now that I'm like, now that I'm more like experienced and watched running backs like that have gotten extended and watched like how their careers unfolded or whatever, I just like, I would rather not pay a running back unless it was like if we paid Tony like $8 to $10 million a year, then like hell yeah, like I would not hesitate to give him $8 or $9 million a year.
He doesn't have the wear. Okay, so the difference between Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott after their first contracts, their rookie deals, Ezekiel Elliott had been fucking held to the fire. The dude had put in work. He had 2 league rushing titles. He had the carries. Tony Pollard, in running back age or dog years, whatever the fuck you want to call them for running backs, the dude doesn't have the touches as most of these guys get, these premier running backs, by the time they get their second contract. So if you did give Tony Pollard a second contract for, like you said, $8 to $10 million, he doesn't have the wear and tear like a lot of those first round, second round running backs usually get.
Hey,
right.
Jeffy, this is how I always look at scenarios. Like I put percentages of salary cap to a position. So if that means I'm paying $18 million for Zeke and $2 million for Tony Pollard, but Tony Pollard is the better back, but the combination is giving us one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL, I'm okay. I don't give a shit who gets the money. They have $20 million between the two. So that I always look at it kind of that way, and maybe that's the wrong way to look at it
because we're lucky this time about it.
No, but it's the same. It's the same thing with Dak's. Sorry, it's the same thing with Dak's contract too. Now the next 2 years look very dismal, so I don't.
They look grim. Let's not even talk about them right now.
But I'm just saying the contract when it was signed, it fell into that same mentality where it's like, well, I'm looking at a percentage for the quarterback, and this is how much he's given. So,
you mean the
right or wrong?
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it. Discuss.
It's actually really like that's I've never really thought about it like that, because you're right. Like if you see 20 mil and you have one of the better running back duos in the league, then like hell yeah. Like I mean shit. I mean that's probably not a good way to think about it, but you're right. I mean shit, like you said. But no, I like the concept of actually there is one example I really liked of the Cowboys using Zeke and Tony against the Rams this year. It's funny it's the Rams, but against the Rams this year, it would be like Zeke getting like 5 to 6 yards like on 4 carries in a drive, and then Tony would come in and get like a 15-yard pop, and then we'd keep doing it, and then boom, Tony would come in like I like that. Like I want to use them like that. I don't when I say give each a shit ton of carries, I don't mean like give Tony 5 carries to start the drive and then Zeke 5 carries to start the next drive. Like no, I mean like give Zeke like the first 3 and then give Tony 1. And then give Zeke the next 4 and then give Zeke Tony like 3. You know what I mean? Like
it's like a combo. It's like a fighter trying to set up his knockout punch. It's like you're
exactly.
feeding the body, and then you come with the right hand hook, which is Tony Pollard. You got Zeke feeding it.
And sometimes you turn it on hard, and you might go more with TP20, and then just go back to
a couple quick jabs.
Yeah, a couple quick jabs coming in, hard body shots. Pop, pop, pop.
Did we just become an MMA podcast?
Hey, one thing I do want to ask you about here, and it's been a subject of our disdain over our second year here, is Kellen Moore. Is he the guy, or is he not that guy, pal?
I'll just say this much. I find it really convenient. I'm just saying, I find it really convenient that his quote unquote best, like his best games that he's play called have been when Tony Pollard has gotten like 10 plus carries. Not to like drag Tony back into this, but I just think that like whenever he's using Tony Pollard, he's cooking. You love Kellen Moore, like you just said, you love Kellen Moore all of a sudden when Tony Pollard's like getting the football. But I just think like he called an incredible game against the Bears, and I mean he called like it was like in the playoffs, it was a very conservative approach against the 49ers, but it should have worked. I feel like Dak had one of the worst games that he's played, which is hard to say because I love Dak. I defend him through thick and thin. But it's disappointing to say that he let us down that game, but he did, And I just feel like when it comes to like a heavyweight matchup against a really good opponent or a really good defense or whatever, even if I just said that Moore had that like conservative but like solid game against the Niners, I feel like he always comes up short, like against Arizona, against the Niners. Obviously, he was conservative. Against Philadelphia, I mean, you shouldn't be putting the game in Cooper Rush's hands against Philly. Like that's not. You should be running the football.
Yeah, nonstop.
I was screaming it on my account to run the ball, but he waited until we went down 3 touchdowns, which is fine, or 2 touchdowns, whatever.
But he's like, he looks like some mutant horse or something, like total ugly.
Yeah, you guys idiots.
Yeah, real ugly guy. Hey, real ugly guy.
You might have not listened before, but we're high on like people's looks here. Like if you look like some sort of chud, we ain't fans of you. And Kellen Moore looks like he was like He looks like a fucking horse fucked a McDonald's fry pack or something. I don't know. Just can't trust a guy that looks like that.
So that confirms you guys are massive fans of Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah. Total babe.
Fans of Dak. Oh,
total babe.
huge babe, big hands. You know what that means, right? Big hands.
Oh my God. No. How do you what do you guys think about Dak? Like, I'm curious.
Love him.
Yeah, we're big Dak fans.
We're Dak guys.
Look,
didn't love the contract when it happened, but now it's like that's every fucking quarterback contract in the NFL. If you want a top 10 quarterback, that's what you're paying. He's a top 10 quarterback.
No, one thing with Dak, when that contract happened, I was so psyched. I did not give a fuck. I was so happy that we extended him. I was pissed that we hadn't extended him already, but
me too.
I wasn't. I mean, I never once complained after we extended.
So I did complain after it. I was on the kind of the side that said we should have signed him a year or two earlier, and if we would have, he already would have been extended again because we would have had such a bargain deal for him that he wouldn't have played on that. So the way you look at it now, the quarterback market has set itself. We honestly, in my opinion, with Dak Prescott and his contract, maybe he's got some weird cap stuff coming up, and we'll figure that out in the next couple of years. But if you want a top 10 quarterback, which he is, you're gonna have to pay. So and that's what we're doing. So
before Alex asks you a question, Deffy, Flight 23, he's a viewer who shows up all the time. Says, tell Deffy to speak Spanish. Somos los vaqueros. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how he knows, but I can speak fluent Spanish.
Well, I mean, a lot of our viewers, a lot of the people that tune in, by the way. And again, we kind of look at the same way that you say we don't have fans. We have a lot of Cowboy fans who show up week to week. They watch the games with us. We chat. We're building a community. And he's saying, I followed Deffy on Insta for a long time. I know he's Mexican, LMAO. So you do have fans who kind of come into our area and that fuck with you. So that's what fluent Spanish.
I mean,
what
that shit makes sense because you guys are around like the same what's the like you guys say I would agree with most of your opinions is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we're kind of in the same Cowboy circle.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Cowboy circle.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of you guys. I always see you guys on my TikTok. I was on my burner. That's how I found out that I was late. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, yeah. So and ultimately, it's funny that you showed up on, and that's why your name was all messed up on the. When you showed up and said, "Hey, check your IG," I was like, "What's going on?" I kind of monitored the TikTok. We're trying to do a simultaneous live show. We have TikTok going live and we have our YouTube channel going live. But yeah, I mean, we're every Wednesday we do our podcast kind of episode, and then every game day we're doing a watch party. We're just giving a chance to have us talk and then interact with the fans. So. By all means,
a companion cast.
A companion cast. You know what I'm saying?
Don't ever call it that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely, I would love to hop on for a game. Like, I am down.
I will quit.
Oh, dude.
No. He's saying he definitely wants to hop on during a game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Would love to have him.
Anth went to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom. I came back, and the first thing I heard is we're calling this a companion cast now. Nah, we're not calling it a companion cast. But hey, Deffy, while we're here, we crack some beers. So crack them if you got them, son. But did we end up asking him, what do you think the Packers have to do to get a W against us?
Well, if I was the Packers, I would run the football and go after Anthony Brown. I'm a big I defend Anthony Brown, but he's had some really, really, really lucky drops the last few weeks. Because a lot of people are he's the type of player that he has and this is the most brutal part about playing cornerback. You can play an incredible game, but the one play that you fuck up, you're just gonna immediately go on my stock down post. It's brutal, but that's how it is because it's such a crucial position. It's like playing quarterback. If you play incredible all game, but you throw a game-losing pick, it's fucked. You know,
you lost it for us.
It's as equivalent or even maybe more so in terms of like the second and third position, because you need your corner to wide receivers, because you need your corners to outperform them in the game to have a better game. They have to outperform the fucking wide receiver, right? But there's no love. Like it's not a sexy position at all.
Well, it's one of those things. It's one of the few positions, and like Devi said, with quarterback and cornerback, it's one of those things that when you do fuck up, everybody sees it. When you get burned and someone takes the top off you and scores a 60-yard touchdown, and you were in one-on-one coverage, the only person that's at fault in that whole, well, minus maybe the play call, is you got beat one-on-one, right? Well, and Anthony Brown, we were there for the Thanksgiving. We traveled down to Dallas last year for the Thanksgiving Day game. We witnessed that motherfucker. And hey, I'm an Anthony Brown fan, so I will say this first. But we witnessed first fucking hand this dude have 4 defensive pass interferences in one game. It was like, oh my God, third down, we stopped him. Flag. Are you kidding me? I'll be this. I agree. He has these. He'll have like a stretch. He'll have a couple games where he's flawless. And was it the Bears or was it the Lions where he was burned a couple times? And like you said, the ball just got dropped.
Against the Bears, he gave up at least 2 touchdowns, and like 2 long ones.
And they just dropped the ball. Like they literally dropped the football. The ball was perfect, and the receiver, was it Mooney maybe? Can't remember the wide receiver, but yeah, just literally dropped it.
Velus Jones.
So you're right. Anthony Brown. And actually, now that we're talking cornerbacks, I'm a little bit nervous to see cornerbacks. I'm a little bit nervous now because we didn't really see much of Deron Bland versus the Bears, but with Lewis out, I do get a little bit nervous with our depth. We're 1 cornerback away, and I know we're getting a little bit off track of Deffy's reason why the Packers might win, but we're one.
No, you're good, dude.
We're 1 cornerback away, another big injury from being a little bit depleted. Like who comes at who say God forbid Anthony Brown or even worse Trevon Diggs go down. Who then? Boss man Fat and his pistol come in, start shooting the place up to help us out, or like what do we do?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I became a Kelvin Joseph guy as like a coping mechanism after we drafted him.
Yep.
Because I wanted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah so fucking bad. So bad. I'm still pissed that we passed on having that linebacker core of Micah Parsons and Joke. Like, dude, could you guys imagine for 5 seconds if we had Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah on this team instead of the fucking 11th best special teamer?
Beast moding.
Are you talking
Joseph,
about
11th best? That's Joseph's even 11th best? I don't know. That's giving him some credit.
What was the scenario there?
We either get the linebacker that we could have got, or we have Boss Man Fat who sucks. Who would you pick?
The linebacker.
I mean, that's a rough one.
It's a trick question.
But no, I'm sorry. How many years ago was that, though? Not last year.
2 years.
2 years.
Right. Okay.
2 years.
Oh, I was kind of last year during the draft. We were talking about cornerback depth. I want the Seattle corner Tariq Woolen, who's going crazy right now.
Yep.
I wanted him so bad. I wanted him in the 3rd round, and he made it all the way to like the late 4th. I was so pissed that we didn't get him. He's Trevon Diggs. He's literally Trevon Diggs, and they didn't give a fuck.
And doesn't that make you mad, considering that Tolbert hasn't fucking? I don't even know if he's had a snap on the field. We
don't say the T word around here.
I'm sorry,
Toblerone.
But of all of the picks that we had this year, Tolbert, I was like, oh, that's the shoe-in.
That was my like you said, when Tolbert got picked, I was excited about it.
This guy, he's gonna suit up. He's gonna slip right in, right where we need him. He's gonna cover the position well. Gallup's injured, and then Gallup's gonna come in.
Cooper, who?
Yeah, and it's gonna be just wild. We're gonna have these 3, and then it's like this guy doesn't even get on the goddamn field.
That's why you're doing a podcast in a basement with me.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest miss, Jalen Tolbert, because I thought Tolbert would come in and like I obviously he's a third round pick, like, and went to like a small school, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna expect him to be fucking Calvin Johnson, but I was sitting here and I was like, he could come in and he's pretty comparable to like Cedric Wilson. I was like, he could have a 2021 Cedric Wilson type of season, and that would be an A+ pick to me. Yep. And then like I was thinking like a Marvin Jones type career with us, except he doesn't leave, hopefully, like if that was to happen. And that's what I was expecting. And looking at the stats, he had 26 snaps played last week, not a single target on the year. He has 2 targets, 1 catch for 4 yards. The other one was a drop against the Giants.
The funny thing is, you say he played 26 snaps. I'm usually pretty good at looking at the whole field. Like, while we're watching the game, I'm looking at every player. I don't even remember him being on the field, and he was on 26 times. Like,
yeah, nuts.
Like usually, I'm calling out for. I don't even remember him being out there. That's crazy. Yeah, that, and you know what? As a third round pick, obviously, you're hoping that he can come in and contribute. I mean, there's still hope for the guy. Like there still is. That he could. Is this me being a optimist?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh no.
You think he's done?
No. I'm saying this isn't you being an optimist. This is like he still has a chance.
Yeah.
But he needs to make his impact now, because Noah Brown isn't going to be out forever, and James Washington is on his way back, and the Cowboys they did not hesitate.
OBJ.
Yeah, they not only that, but they didn't hesitate to almost trade a day 2 pick for Brandon Cooks, which is something I noticed. A lot of people are like, a lot of coping Cowboys fans. I said this on my post, word for word. A lot of coping Cowboys fans are calling Jalen Tolbert a developmental player. That is not what he is. He was supposed to be a day 1 impact easily.
Oh yeah,
not a developmental.
100%. The guy that the first wide receiver we took in the draft was supposed to be helping at this point.
Well, yeah, and exactly, first wide receiver. And if you look at in this scenario, you just want to say to them, why? So you dump Amari to take Jalen Tolbert. Like that's exactly
price
what it
though, right? But they're thinking Amari's price versus if they can get even like Deffy said, if they could get even, maybe not even a Cedric Wilson 2021, but like close to that, it's for a third round pick, you're knocking it out of the park.
But if we go back to the idea of getting another secondary and having a solid secondary, someone that can kind of complement,
or just a wide receiver that can do anything.
right. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I guess obviously intentions in drafting, you're drafting a wide receiver who can actually.
They went for the position because we needed a wide receiver, right? Like the reason was, you're right, we got rid of Amari Cooper. We had a very, very big glaring hole to fill. They were hoping with that third round pick, they decided, okay, we're going to go with the best wide receiver we think and hope that he can give us some sort of production. Going into what are we going into week 10? Jalen Tolbert's just
week
been
9.
An absolute fucking bust.
And we looked at someone else's data because we don't come up with that shit ourselves. And the first and second round picks have a pretty high potential chance of being a starter, but from the third round on, it starts to get a little bit more questionable.
You're rolling a dice a little bit.
If you are going to start rolling the dice, the third round is the appropriate round to start.
Well, and I don't
rolling the dice.
I'm fine with them rolling the dice, but they just flubbed on this
it was
far.
A flub. It was so far. But here's what I don't want. I don't want to linger on the fucking. I don't want to linger on. He's a third round pick, so we need to keep trying him out. It's like, if this guy's not the guy,
get the fuck rid of him.
Get rid of him and let's just move on and try again because trying is fine. The problem is if you extend that decision past the point of where it's valuable for the team.
Can Damone Clark play wide receiver?
Micah Parsons play wide receiver.
Can Micah get out there?
Can Micah do it?
The funny thing is I would say our best offensive threat came as a tight end with Jake Ferguson. I think he's well on his way in his position. Obviously, he's not breaking the numbers as a receiving threat yet, but just the way he is out there, and even Hendershot, just watching these 3 tight ends behind Big Ham Baller.
Clone Zone.
Big Ham Baller 6 on Twitch, a.k.a. What the fuck's his name? Dalton Schultz. Hey, I like the way our tight end room is going.
Before you reply to that, Deffy, can you at least message Bingham Baller 9?
I think he's blocked too.
Oh, are you blocked too?
I'm not blocked yet. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I'm blocked on Instagram because in the off season, this is when everybody was dick riding Schultz. In the off season, I made a post and I was like, I hope y'all know that like David Njoku would blow Dalton Schultz out of the water in our offense. And I was like, oh my God, you're so negative. And then I said, yeah, I think that's when he blocked me. And on Twitter, he hasn't blocked me, which is disappointing because he blocks everybody. But
so he has us blocked because I just had a picture of his face with bold letters on the bottom saying "pussy." I'm just kidding. I can't remember what he blocked us for. It was something him bitching about his. It was bitching about his contract.
You were crying. You were making a point about him crying about his
contract.
His contract.
It got us blocked on everything. Wasn't even that mean.
I mean, I don't understand how you can be like everybody. Like the front office and shit will like label him as a leader. But like if you're a leader, why are you like holding out? You know, like I that irks me. It maybe it's like an old school thing, but it irks me when like a so-called leader holds out and like brings that shit into
I can't deal with
like onto the field. Yeah, and now he's not even performing. I mean, he is now because Dak's back. But before Dak came back, he had like 80 yards on the year.
Yeah,
like he was being outperformed by Peyton Hendershot.
Well,
you were just talking about
like we kind of said, it's kind of weird how quarterbacks kind of get their guys that they're super comfortable. It's not weird. It's human habit. You're gonna go who you're comfortable with. Cooper Rush, his guy was obviously Noah Brown, right? And it's kind of like Dak Prescott's safety blanket might be, as much as we hate it, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I mean a large part of our offense is like Dalton Schultz, like running a curl route or like running into the middle of the field and finding his zone. And Dak Prescott's not Kyler Murray. He can like actually see the middle of the field. So he's going to find him a lot.
Yep.
I mean, that I cannot stand the people that like I just, if I was a team, I needed a quarterback, I would not draft like a Bryce Young or a Kyler Murray. I used to love Kyler Murray, and I would have loved Bryce Young when I was 14, but like it's fucked up. But like shorter quarterbacks, they just like objectively cannot see the middle of the field, and we're lucky that Dak's like one of the taller guys.
It's called science.
Yeah, let's just. I didn't know.
It's like Alex trying to see past a bunch of fucking 6'5" dudes. He's that guy at the back of the music festival. Like what? Who's on stage right now?
No one's ever open.
You can't see it if you're 5'8" or 5'9". Kyler Murray's maybe 5'9".
I just didn't know
can't
you guys.
They bullshit about his height.
Oh, you think they inflate his height?
Oh yeah, because they say he's 5'10", but he stood next to Hollywood Brown and he was shorter. Like, give me a fucking break.
He is.
Yeah,
hell
no.
No fucking way.
Well, I didn't know you guys were all height elitists, so whatever. What, Deffy? We want to grab your bold prediction for this Sunday.
Is that what you guys were holding up the pad of paper?
No.
I was supposed to know what you guys meant.
No.
Do you want to?
Hey, don't behind baseball in front of Deffy.
Well, we have Armando 21.
Yeah, so Armando 21's been sitting silent, eating a cheeseburger in the chat.
I didn't know he was in.
Should we bring him in?
Just bring him in.
I'm gonna bring him. But before, I wanted to say
TikTok famous Armando.
Well, we'll get them both. We'll do them both.
Yeah, just get them both on.
We're doing it live. I guess.
Doing it live.
Why are you nervous about bringing in?
No,
hey, your job is to figure out the fucking dork shit. Figure out the dork shit.
Hey, Deffy, do you hear how they talk to me there?
So what's happening is we're gonna bring in a 21 Armando 21. He's a guy we've actually met in real life. We met him at the Vegas draft. We had met him, or we never met him before that, but we had talked quite a bit. Big TikTok guy, the big man with the big hat with the big chain is what he kind of goes with himself. So we're gonna get him in here, and we're gonna have a little Roz, and we're gonna get your guys' bold prediction for the game.
He hasn't made his camera live yet, so I'm just gonna wait till he's there. Okay, so Armando, pop on in, and as soon as you pop back in, I'll bring you in.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get your guys' bold prediction for the game. It's got to be bold. Can't be none of this bitch shit. It's got to be bold, and then score prediction. And what we do through all our social media accounts. If someone guesses the score prediction, we send them a T-shirt. You don't get to decide what kind of T-shirt. We get to pick. No, it's a Cowboys Can Fan T-shirt. AJ, go in.
No. Finish your thought, because it was a question to both of these fine young gentlemen.
Okay, so until we get Armando in, it's just like I said.
Armando's here.
Is he in?
Yeah, as soon as he unmutes himself, he's live. He's live on the show. Live and in charge.
Is this a Wednesday night party?
This is a Wednesday night party.
It looks like Armando's still muted. There's a mute.
So he's muted. He has to unmute himself.
Okay. I see.
Well, there we go. There we go.
Hey, is Mondo. What's up, bro?
Look at this.
What's going on, fellas? What is going on? I'm looking for something to open my. I gotta crack them, but I don't crack them. I have, I gotta pop them. I gotta pop them. So what I got a cheese grater. We're gonna grate some cheese.
So you're gonna
grate some cheese this week.
Those cheese heads coming up this.
So I gotta,
Did you just pop a bottle with a cheese grater? That's fucking hilarious.
What is going on, fellas? Crack 'em if you got him, fellas.
Pop him if you got him.
If you got him, son.
Hey, so I think I just want to ask quickly, both of you, do the Dallas Cowboys have a Super Bowl caliber team?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I don't think it's like, I think we have one of the better, like, it's kind of unbelievable, like how good our roster is with like no outside help whatsoever.
Will McClay, baby.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? I've said it. I don't know who. Somebody follows me on Twitter, but I just got into a Twitter game, and I've said it since before the season. Defense wins championships, and right now our defense is looking good. So we definitely, it's a Super Bowl contending team.
Especially in the thing with that, the NFC. The NFC doesn't scare me at all. Anyone
at all?
Right now, the top 3 teams or 4 teams, 3 of them are in the NFC East. The Giants don't scare me. The Eagles, I guaranteed those motherfuckers are gonna lose on December 24th. There's nothing. There's just nothing that will convince me otherwise. Dak is literally the Eagles' daddy. Like, he is gonna fucking walk. He's gonna walk in December 24th and put a hurting on those guys. If we can get into the NFC playoffs and 2 or 3 of the 7 teams are from the NFC East and 3 of them are the top of the 7, I feel like we should glance through these playoffs.
Hey, I don't know if Eagles have a hierarchy, but Dak is that hierarchy in the Eagle community.
Call him what he is. They call him Daddy.
Alpha Eagle.
They call him Daddy.
Daddy. Yeah.
Daddy Dak.
The Eagles call him Daddy.
Yeah, the Eagle. Well, you can.
Or, I mean, I call him Daddy too. We talked earlier about his hands. I just don't want to scare Deffy when we get into some of this prison talk that we do sometimes.
I do like.
Bro, have you been on my account?
Oh,
yeah.
So he has the funniest clip that you post is it's like Ezekiel Elliott and showing him.
I already know what you're talking about.
It's Ezekiel Elliott and it's showing him fumble. This is Ezekiel Elliott running the ball, and then it's like it cuts to a clip of him like all his best runs, and this is Ezekiel Elliott when he's thinking about men.
It's
fucking hilarious.
I didn't like. Damn! Oh, everyone always gives me credit for that, but it was one of my buddies who runs like a shit post Giants page. He did one for Daniel Jones, and I thought that shit was so funny. And I was like, "Could I do this for Zeke?" And now everybody says that about Zeke. They're like when I post about Zeke, they're like, "Oh, he needs to be thinking about men this Sunday." And that shit is so funny.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. So what I did like is when we asked both these fucking diehard Cowboys fans, do you guys think Super Bowl contention team? Boom, yes. Without a doubt, yes. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I think it's my perspective is this year is our best opportunity or window, and it just happened to work out that way. I mean, after week 1, did anyone expect the opportunity to be here for us to like still be in a
contention or like not
first seed?
Exactly, yeah.
So agreed. So I'm gonna ask these guys. Good call, AJ. And then kind of because I have an idea of who my answer is, but I'm gonna ask everybody in here right now. I want to know at mid-season way, because we're gonna call it mid-season after the bye week.
Yep.
We're gonna go through our awards for we're gonna go through quick from everyone. We're gonna go mid-season awards for offense, defense, and coach. I want to know this, and then after that, we're gonna jump into score predictions, bold predictions, and then we're gonna bounce. So we're gonna. I don't know what screen they're looking at, but I'm gonna play host here. I'm gonna start off with Defy. So if you had to pick your offensive player of the year, your defensive player of the year, and your coach of the year at midway point for the Cowboys, who would they be?
Offensive player of the year is easily Tony Pollard. Defensive player of the year, I'll go with well, I mean, I'm gonna be basic and just choose Micah because I love Micah.
Got to.
And that's, I mean, he's won us games.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty easily Micah. And then coach of the year, I'll go. I'll go Mike McCarthy. Even though it's Dan Quinn, I think Mike McCarthy deserves his flowers for how he's like handled this. So yeah, I'll go Mike.
All right, the big man with the big hat and the big chain. What do you think? Offensive player so far this year, defensive player so far this year, and coach.
Offense. I mean, I think everybody knows it's Tony Pollard. The way Tony Pollard is coming out, and showing us, it's got to be Tony Pollard. Defensive, Defy said Micah. Obviously we all see it, but I'm gonna go Trevon Diggs. Nobody's
there we are.
Trevon Diggs. No, this guy is holding people down, locking people down. He's not getting the interceptions anymore. He's not, but his numbers
throwing at him anymore.
Yeah, that's Diggs Island. They said it, and that's what it is. So and then coach, I'm gonna go with Mike. I'm gonna agree with Defy. I'm gonna go with Mike just because of at the beginning of the season we were talking Jerry Jones and his comments and towards Mike McCarthy and just the way he handled all that and where we're at where we are we're in a winning position. You got to give it up to Mike, just for all that.
Big Mike, too busy looking for In-N-Out burger than the game plan. I'm just kidding.
But guys, honestly, you guys know he wants to beat Green Bay.
Fuck yeah,
he wants to beat these guys.
That's like I'm looking at my brother right now, looking across from me. It's like if we were gonna play against each other, I just want to beat his ass so fucking bad.
I just want to smash your face so bad.
That's how it is.
Okay,
but
what do you got? Let's get it.
Offense, Tony Pollard, obviously. I agree with everybody. I think what the man's been doing given the amount of snaps he's been taking, definitely an offensive caliber weapon. Defense, my boy 21 Armando 21. As much as I love Micah, I love what Diggs has been doing. So I would vote Diggs.
You dig it?
I dig it.
You dig it?
But I mean, like you can't. Like that's such a hard. I mean, it's a hard conversation. And then coach wise, and I don't know his name.
Don't you take mine?
Secondary coach.
He has had belts right now.
Joe Witt. Joe Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Joe Witt Jr.
That's who my pick is right now.
That's a good pick.
Strictly because what he's been doing for Diggs, the way that kind of. I mean, we look at Micah and Dan Quinn, and I do love Dan Quinn.
DQ baby.
But just seeing how Diggs went from last season to now being almost, close to being a shutdown cornerback. I think it has to go with a lot of the coaching as well.
Totally.
AJ, what do you got?
AJ.
So I'm going to. I'm thinking just a little bit differently. I'm going to give my mid-year flowers.
Don't you take my shit?
He's going to say Kellen Moore.
Noah Brown.
Fuck you.
I think Noah Brown stepped in when necessary to help be that guy for. Cooper Kupp.
Cooper, yeah. How we kept when they played against each other. Yeah. Cooper Kupp. Oh fuck, Cooper. Who won? Who the fuck? What Cooper are we talking about?
Yeah. Cooper Rush. I think that he played that position. Now he's definitely kind of quieted down, but we're talking about the first half of the season.
Well, he's hurt right now too.
And okay, so that's another thing. But just that's warranted. On defense, I'm going to say my runner-up first and then give you my my dog.
Double dose.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I'm quickly touching my runner-up is Donovan Wilson. Just loving what he's doing out there. Really hope he gets a longer contract. And
the hitman, Dono Wilson.
Yeah, but the guy who I'm going to give the mid-year awards to, a little bit different just to kind of shake things up for conversation's sake. D-Law coach Lawrence. I think
that's a good one. That's a good one right there.
He's been playing some really, really good fundamental football, locking down his position. I equate him to kind of a lockdown
minus playing contain last week. That's it. That's my only knock on D-Law. The contain.
We're talking about the whole first half.
saying.
It's a half year. It's the first half year.
Hey. We liked it. 21
I liked it.
21 liked it.
I liked it.
You see what Anthony he had to take it down just
I had to.
No, it's fair.
You got to play contain.
He did show up when no one else did and got 3 sacks in one game.
That's true. I love D-Law.
Okay, so
you know,
guess
you know
what?
I'm
Fuck
huge.
you.
I'm a huge.
and for coach, I mean, come on. I can't leave his name unsaid.
You on DQ, aren't you?
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan. Now that's Lieutenant Dan.
You knew that was. You knew Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. I mean, come on. What he's done with this defense. I mean, maybe I'm kind of taking from last year too, but it's just the most. It's the most exciting football I've watched, and it's been so defensive.
Yep.
That I don't know if I'm changing or the game of football is.
You're growing up.
You're going from you're going from your disgusting sack into a nice butterfly.
Well, you know, the NFL is built. If I can just rant for a quick second, the NFL is just built. The NFL is just built on providing the offense with so much potential, and so it's just nice to see that the defense always catches up. It always figures it out. And the NFL always has to keep changing the rules to benefit the offense so that they can, because they see more scores, more middle of the line fans watch games because they don't understand defense. And I didn't too. I'm not dogging it. But when you're just watching a football game, it's primarily they just want to show touchdowns.
Touchdown. Let's see your
high scoring. They want high scoring games.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm going.
Could I actually
interject.
say something really, really fast?
Of course. You don't have to say it fast.
I want
to.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but I just want to change my offensive player to Tyler Biadasz.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Tyler Biadasz has had an excellent. Tyler Biadasz is playing like a top 2 center right now.
Not to mention the guy was dragged.
Like he's been incredible.
Been dragged through mud throughout the offseason. Like everyone's like, what are we
Guys,
gonna do?
Can we give an honorable mention to one man we all didn't mention?
No. I get it. I want to say mine because I think you're gonna say my pick.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, go ahead.
You're gonna say my pick. So the man with the big chain with the big hat, you gotta give me a second here, son.
Yeah. So my bad.
I'm gonna go off. My offensive player is the dude that has kept us in 6-2 contention. Who after week 1 we thought we were fucked. The guy that I've actually slagged through mud too, saying he's not better than our starting quarterback, but the guy did what he needed to do to get us to 6-2. My at half point offensive player of the year is Cooper fucking Rush. That dude kept us. That guy kept us in what we needed to do. I know he wasn't throwing 4 touchdowns a game. He wasn't taking games over. The more important thing is he didn't lose us football games, minus the Eagles game. He lost that. He lost it. He lost that game. Yes. We'll look away from that, right? Okay, so that's my offense. My defense, I'm going to go Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong has been a very, very... Obviously, Micah's obviously Micah is, okay?
Yeah.
Micah is.
Guess what? Micah is.
Micah is the defensive player so far this year. I think a very good Batman or Robin to the Batman has been Dorrance Armstrong. He's been really good. Block punts, sacks, block passes, stuff in the run game. He's come up in big spots at big times. That's my defensive guy. And then coach, I'm going to go with Mr. Vasectomy himself, John Fossil. Our special teams has been very, very good this year. Like, honestly, one thing I lost sleep about last year was special teams. And this year, I don't know if it's with Maher and Turpentine, but I just feel like special teams, and we've been getting some touchdowns on defense on special teams. I just feel like our defense has taken a turn for the best. So I'm going to go John Fossil, even though he had that weird vasectomy talk on Hard Knocks.
That was weird. Very weird.
That's a really good pick.
Very, very weird segue for him. Now, he was just like, okay, we're going to talk about my nuts gone. Let's now talk about special teams.
He was doing his best as a fucking what looks like a 90-year-old vampiric man to like connect with his fucking 20-year-old team.
Got rid of my balls,
he
guys.
Thought, guys like to talk about their balls. I'm going to talk about my vasectomy. And just fucking went into like the vasectomy.
It was weird.
Talk.
Very weird. Very, very weird. Okay, so we're going to segue right. I don't even know if you can call it a segue because it's not going to have anything to do with each other.
Boldies?
No, we're going to do score predictions.
Okay, score prediction, then bold.
Oh, actually, Before we jump into that, Armando, you had something that someone you wanted to say. Did Ant cover him?
I don't think it
did.
Oh,
I covered. No, he did.
Yeah,
Cooper Rush.
Okay.
No,
and I can tell.
Nobody mentioned, but I forgot. I forgot it. He hadn't gone, so that was my fault.
As soon as you said it, I was like, Armando's gonna say Cooper Rush. And I'm gonna look like a fucking copier.
I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be that guy.
So what we do every week is we do a score prediction. If you get the score prediction right, we send you a shirt. It's that simple. Which I know you guys are very excited. That's why you're on this podcast for. But we also do a bold prediction, and we want something bold, something that's like it can be not necessarily NFL bold, but specifically to Cowboys bold. But it has to be bold, and you need to make an argument for it.
Like kind of sort of like John Fossil did his own vasectomy.
Exactly. Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
But because it's been the topic of the week, another one, so we're going to do score prediction, bold prediction for the game.
We're running almost 2.5 hours. We're going to be here till fucking tomorrow morning.
If the Cowboys sign OBJ,
just a yes, no?
When do you think they'll sign him and make the announcement?
Let's just get yes or no
threes.
because
no.
Yes,
Hey,
no. Okay,
hey, listen. I'll fucking mute your ass.
Okay.
Deffy, if you got all three things we just asked, it sounded like we just gave you a chore list. But let's get your score prediction. Your bold prediction, and then whatever Adam just said.
And your wiener size.
Okay.
There it
is. My my score prediction might fuck. I don't know if I have the balls to give this prediction, but I'll just do it. Whatever. This is gonna be the score prediction is obviously gonna segue into my bold prediction. So I think the Cowboys win 31-0.
Wow!
And I think the Cowboys shut out Aaron Rodgers. And
that
the
is
Packers.
A bold prediction right there. You're right.
And they will sign OBJ. I mean, they'll sign OBJ next week. That's my guess. But as for the shutout, we might shut them out for 3.5 quarters, and then we do that bullshit where we let them score 2 touchdowns with 3 minutes left, and I would be pissed.
Yeah.
But I think we will shut them out. At least the first 3 quarters. That's my guess.
I'm gonna interchange real quick here. If we just shut out the Packers, we're sending you a T-shirt. Even just calling a shutout is we'll send you a T-shirt if we shut out the Packers. Armando, what do you got here? Give us your score, your boldy.
Score prediction. I'm gonna go with 35-7.
Nice. That's a
35-7. They get on the board. Aaron Rodgers gets on the board. My bold prediction. We see Jordan Love in this game.
Oh,
nice.
I think we see Jordan Love. I really want the Cowboys to get out there and put a whooping on these guys because that's the Green Bay. And then OBJ, I don't think we get him. I think we lose him to Buffalo.
Fucking Bills Mafia.
Who we do have a lot of love for.
Bunch of table jumping fucks. Just because they seem the most Canadian out of anybody.
I don't know. It's the weather.
I see a Buffalo tailgate. I'm like, I feel like I would fit in all right.
Yeah, they're the most Canadian out of all of them. Right?
It's because
I'm going to be honest. I've never been a big Buffalo fan. They rubbed me the wrong way after that 2019 Thanksgiving game. They were just on our nuts for no reason. We have no beef with you. All of the beef is from our grandparents.
But you always got to think though, no matter what team it is, when they play the Cowboys, the lights are there. It's as cliche as it is, it feels like where everyone's, if they're not going to be playing for the Super Bowl that year, their biggest game's always against the Cowboys. But you're right.
Against the Cowboys.
They're all butthurt because they lost 2 Super Bowls to the Cowboys back to back.
Yep.
And let's hear yours.
You want mine? Oh,
yeah.
We're going a little bit different here.
Tossing at you,
Anth.
Unfortunately, I think Aaron Rodgers. And this is just me I got PTSD from playoff games from the last decade. This motherfucker just always plays us so good that I just somehow think he will. And I'm always wrong on this stuff, so this is good that I feel this way. I think it's a closer game. Something obviously win, but I think something 31-24. I think it's going to be within a touchdown. I hope it's not. I hope we just absolutely stomp them into 35-7 and 31-0. I would love that. There's no better thing than by the third quarter I could just watch AJ falling asleep because we're not even watching a football game. We're just now getting drunk and stoned. I hope that's the fact, but I think it's going to be closer than that. My bold prediction is Micah gets his second touchdown in a row, back-to-back games. Micah gets another defensive touchdown. And then we already touched base on what we thought about OBJ. I said I don't think we'll sign him. I hope we do, but I've just seen this song and dance too many times that we get put towards some sort of big-name free agent, and then I wake up crying in the middle of the night because I see Defy post it, and I'm just crying.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So I think the Cowboys are going to continue that roll on offense. I believe we're going to see Kellen Moore come to his senses. He is going to potentially be able to drop the vanilla pudding moniker, but he's not getting back the Dungeon Master.
He's not Dungeon Master. He's
not
still pizza. Even if he gets rid of vanilla pudding, he's still Pizza Boy.
Still
bitch.
Pizza. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think the Cowboys go 45.
Wow.
To
another 40 burger.
Another 40 burger to 17.
Okay. So there's a little bit of offense going on for the
there
Packers.
Is, because there is the Cowboys have shown a little bit of bend, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you got for your boldy?
Bold prediction. Okay. So I guess rolling with that, I'm gonna have to say, if you'll allow it.
Oh, we'll allow it.
Okay. Pollard and Zeke both get 85+ yards each, and there's a combined 3 touchdowns between the two.
You know, it'd be bold.
Is that not bold enough?
200 each. I dare you.
Okay. You know what? Because I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's fucking 100 each. 100 for
both running backs
for both
and a
running
combined
backs.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, sorry.
It's gonna be cold weather. Remember that.
That's good. That's good.
We're Canadians. We're indifferent to cold weather.
You guys are Canadians. You guys are good.
Armando's right. Dak is gonna break Justin Fields' all-time quarterback rush. No, just kidding.
Here's how I can amend that: 100+ yards rushing or receiving.
Okay. So combined. Net yards. Okay.
Net yards.
That's okay.
So 200, but they each have to get 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't have to be rushing. Just 100 yards.
100 yards each. And then, yes, I do think that they're going to sign Beckham.
What did I call him?
David Beckham.
No, what did I call him? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan
Kenobi. I can't even remember. That was like fucking 7 hours ago.
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
Like.
Adam, you're up.
Okay, so I will say 43-21 Cowboys. And I think
What did you say, sorry?
43-21 Cowboys.
40 burgers.
Yeah.
40 burgers
I want that 40
Mike
burger.
McCarthy's getting hungry with all these 40
Well,
burgers.
he's going to be hungry when he's going in for that Green Bay sandwich.
Oh, that sounded super sexual.
It was meant to be. It's getting late, we kind of turn it up a little bit here, you know what I'm saying? So my bold prediction would be, I think we're going to see a 3 touchdown game from CeeDee Lamb.
Wow. I like it. I like it.
I can't just end on that one. Three touchdown game from CeeDee Lamb and Turpentine final return on either a kickoff or.
You think he's going to bring one back?
I think he's going to bring one back.
Either of those.
That's a good one.
Either of those.
Everybody waiting for it?
We all want it. We all want it.
Look, I would take
It's going to happen.
So
Their special team sucks ass. It's going to happen.
Anyone that's watching, or if anyone's still watching, our mom got us this. It's Screech Rum, because last year we had this in the podcast studio. Whenever there's a special teams touchdown, we have to drink this. And we didn't drink it at all last year because we were at the Thanksgiving Day game when Tony Pollard
did the return.
Did it, and then we ended up polishing the whole bottle at Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So here's the new one. So I'm praying that Turpentine doesn't get it because this shit tastes terrible.
Who was throwing up outside of Target? Was that the
AJ.
bottle?
And he was drinking lime margaritas.
I was drinking lime margaritas, man.
Yeah, that was that definitely was AJ.
So and Armando. So because we're about to, we're going to be going to the Vikings Dallas game, and then we'll be at the Thanksgiving game. In
but how we're going? So don't sell us short there, brother.
Well, we say it all the time. I just wanted to try to.
Yeah, well, spit it.
Okay, so we're flying into we're flying into Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we're going to see Cowboys at Vikings. So we're going into. We wanted to earn our stripes and be in enemy territory. We weren't brave enough to go to an Eagles game this year, but next year,
Eagles game.
Yeah, next year we're gonna do an Eagles game.
God, I'm scared.
Alex is scared, but we'll protect him.
We already bought our stab vest.
And
I might go with you guys.
Oh, Armando.
Yeah,
hey, man,
the more the merrier.
We need that big hat, big chain, big dick energy.
Yeah, we need the more the merrier in that situation.
Oh yeah. So then we're gonna drive to Kansas City because we want to make sure that the 2023 draft area is all secure and right.
Right.
And then we'll drive over to Dallas and we'll catch the Thanksgiving game, which is going to be the Cowboys Can Fan annual trip. It's our second year in a row doing it.
2 games, 5 days.
2 games, 5 days. Canadians out there cheering on for America's team. What you mentioned about Alex, the one thing that I was going to say is not only did he drink the one Limerita outside of the Target and puked everywhere, he then drank it right after the game. And he prohibited Anth and I from having a crazy night.
We wanted to go out and have some wings and some pizza after, and AJ was falling asleep at the fucking
I'm not feeling good. The Limerita's hurting me.
It was a stupid Limerita. Don't let me get the Limerita.
No, and then Armando and Deffy.
So you guys already know 21 Armando 21 on TikTok. If you guys haven't checked out my TikTok, that's pretty much the only platform I do. I just joined the Twitter world. I know Twitter's weird, but I just I love it for the sports content. I follow CamFam, but 21 Armando 21 as well, DC4L.
Hell yeah, guys. Hey, we appreciate having you guys on. We're going to be going live probably, I don't know, an hour before the game. If either of you guys wants to hop on pregame, talk some Cowboys football before the game kicks off, we'd love having you guys on.
Pre-game, halftime,
I am totally down.
Yeah, any pre-game, post-game, halftime, during the game, we kind of just sit there. Well, I don't think I'd literally be able to focus on talking to people and watching the screen and just screaming out when I scream.
What we can do is we'll reach out to you guys, and if you're available, we'll bring you on. If you're doing whatever the fuck you're doing, then
drinking and watching the game.
Exactly. Then we'll catch you next time, man.
All right. And
sorry,
what was that, Mondo?
I said, but for sure, because what I do is I stream it on TikTok. So halftime, we can talk some shit.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Okay, for the bandwagon boys over there, you guys are looking. Man, this has been the longest one in a while. 2.5 hours.
It was a good one though.
It was 2.5 hours. It was good. You know what? If it's flowing and we're having a good time, I'd just be at home watching some fucking stupid Netflix documentary, anyways. So for the bandwagon boys over there looking sexy as always, and your host, Anth Best. We'll be here on Sunday an hour before the game. Are we going an hour before the game?
Hour before the game. We're crazy.
We're crazy.
Hour like that.
All right, we out.